Shalom, 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 Israel, brother Naquam.
Brother Jeremiah.
Brother Yardan.
All right, another Monday night fire, giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh. By Shema Mashiach Wamalak Yahushai. Double honors to the elect elders of the house of David that's been in this truth for decades and decades, patiently waiting for the second coming of Yahushai. A hearty shalom to you mighty men that go out there and labor and do the work of the Most High, presenting your body as a living sacrifice and enduring all things for the elect's sake, pushing this truth and magnifying the ministry. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the men that may not be out there on the highways and byways as of yet, but they're working on it. They're getting built up in the spirit. They're praying, they're fasting, they're studying, they're being diligent and abounding in the work of the Lord. Shalom, shalom. Shalom to all of the Aquath out there, the sincere sisters out there holding it down in the households in righteousness, reverencing their husbands, being submissive, being diligent, and moving in the spirit of our righteous foremothers. And shalom to everybody tuning in live. Jerome Taylor, Take Me From Among the Heathen, right? Metame, right? Trey Ruiz, Drico from Judah, Lion of Judah, Slim D, and everybody else tuning in. Monday Night Fire, the topic of the live stream is Daniel 9 and the 70 weeks for a breakdown. So we're going to dive into the some deep waters tonight through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Most High willing, everything is covered, and Most High willing, everybody eats well. Right? We're going to kick it off with the book of Daniel, chapter 9. We're going to start straight to the point at 24. Let's get straight to the point.
Can Brother Siri?
You kind of low.
What about now?
Kind of sound you sound the same.
Can you hear me now?
Con, you just gotta speak up. You might have to exalt your voice a little bit.
Con. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 24. And it reads, 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon the holy city to finish the transgression and to make an end of sins and to make reconciliation for iniquity and to bring in everlasting righteousness and to seal up the vision and prophecy and to anoint the most holy.
So let's read that again. Now this is this is an answer to Daniel's prayer. So we'll have to read the first verse to understand why the angel is coming down, Gabriel, and breaking this down to Daniel. You can't just hop in the middle of it because now you have to understand, well, why is this even happening? So we will have to read the first verse on down, right? We're not going to do an in-depth breakdown from 1 through 23, but we are going to touch on that to give you the context of the chapter, right? Gabriel came and broke down to him 70 weeks are accomplished upon thy people to fulfill a certain amount of events. But we're going to read from the first verse to give you the overall context in Daniel 9 and 1.
Book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 1. And it reads, in the first year of Darius, the son of Ahasuerus, of the seed of the Medes, which was made king over the realm of the Chaldeans. In the first year of his reign, I, Daniel, understood by books the number of the years, whereof the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah the prophet, that he would accomplish 70 years in the desolation of Jerusalem.
Right now, the Lord said, I understood by books, meaning Daniel was going through the accounts of what Jeremiah wrote, and Jeremiah wrote a particular timeline of how long we'll be in captivity, right? That 70 years was spoken about. Let's get that in Jeremiah 25 and 11. And we have to be in that same mentality. And we brought that out on a Sabbath service, how Daniel understood by books. He was measuring a time of how long they would be in captivity under the Babylonians. Now, Daniel, he's understanding by books how long they would be in captivity. And we have to be in that same spirit. We have to understand by the different books of the Bible. You understand how long we are in this captivity. Let's get Jeremiah 25 and 11.
The book of Jeremiah, chapter 25, verse 11, and it reads, and this whole land shall be a desolation and an astonishment, and these nations shall serve the king of Babylon 70 years.
How long?
70 years.
See that the Lord said that we would serve the king of Babylon 70 years. Plain. So Daniel, he had the account that Jeremiah wrote, really Baruch wrote, of Jeremiah's prophecy of how long they would be in that captivity. Right? And Daniel, he was going through the records. He said, I hate it here. I'm sick of working for Cyrus and Ahasuerus and Darius and all these men. How long am I going to be here? Let me open up the Bible, or the records that they had back then, the law and the compilation of books, the Bible, right? And then they opened it up and said, okay, we're going to be here for 70 years. You got it, King.
This is Second Esdras chapter 9 and verse 1. And it reads, it says, he answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time when the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. So the brother said, you're going through the precepts, you're seeing what already came to pass, what's going to happen next, right? You got to know the timeline of the prophecies, what you should be looking out for, right? What's the next major prophecy coming to pass, right? And you linking it up with the scriptures, right? So it's all going via the precepts, and you'll know, okay, we only got this amount of time left, right? You should know, okay, you shouldn't think we got another 100 more years. I'm good. Right. That shouldn't be your mindset when you go through these scriptures. So I got one more precept. This is
quick point, real quick, King. Yeah, brothers sitting there thinking that Esau is not the so-called white man, and we have another captivity after this one. So you're not measuring by books, like the brother said. You're not diligently looking at what time you win, man. You got it.
Con, this is Second Esdras 14 and 11, and it reads, for the world is divided into 12 parts, and the 10th part of it are gone already, and half of a 10th part, and there remaineth that which is after the half of the 10th part. Right, so the word is on a spiritual clock, and once a clock, the hand strikes midnight, all hell break loose. So in the time of Ezra, he says already 10:30. So in that time, we had an hour and a half left. And it reads, now therefore set thine house in order and reprove thy people, comfort such of them as be in trouble, and now renounce corruption. So now the time to get your house in order, because you know it's during the time of Ezra, we had an hour and a half left. You should know that we in days, and during our time, we got 5 seconds left, 10 seconds, like only a few seconds left on the clock. So now it's time to make haste in this thing. Get your households in order. Reprove your people. Put away your mortal thoughts, and walk in integrity in this thing, and sincerely, and seek Yahweh Bashem Yahushua.
So we can read on to Daniel the 9th chapter. Let's read on.
The book of Daniel, chapter 9, 1 verse 24 to 25.
We're going to read on from where we left off in 1.
Daniel, chapter 9, verse
2.
In the first year of his reign, I, Daniel, understood by books the number of the years whereof the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah, the prophet, that he would accomplish 70 years in the desolations of Jerusalem.
Right.
And I set my face unto the Lord God, and to seek by prayer and supplication with fastings and sackcloth and ashes. And I got a quick point. They didn't march. They didn't have a petition. They didn't gather together and graffiti, the walls of Persian Medes. They didn't do none of that stuff. They fasted, repented, and asked by prayer. All right. It's like it. Verse 4. And I prayed unto the Lord and my God. It's like I prayed unto the Lord my God and made my confession and said, O Lord, the great and dreadful God, keeping the covenant and mercy to them that love him and to them that keep his commandments. We have sinned and have committed iniquity and have done wickedly and have rebelled, even by departing from thy precepts.
Yeah, and we brought this out earlier this week. That's off if you don't go precept upon precept. Daniel just told that. If you rebel against the precepts, that's evil and it's a sin. So you can't rebel against the precepts, man. Daniel is making supplication. He's praying to the Most High on behalf of his nation. All right, let's read on.
Even by departing from thy precepts and from thy judgments. Now that have we hearkened unto thy servants the prophets, which spake in the name to our kings, our princes, and our fathers, and to all the people of the land. O Lord, righteousness belongeth unto thee, but unto us confusion of faces. As at this day to the men of Judah, and to the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and unto all Israel that are near and that are far off, though it's like through all the countries, whether thou hast driven them, because of their trespass, that they have trespassed against thee.
Now let's jump to the point. Let's get to the point. Let's go to verse 20, right? So when you read, you can read the rest of the prayer on your own. You can read about Daniel making supplication to the Most High on behalf of the sins of our fathers and our people. And then we have to move in that same spirit, right? When you're praying, yeah, you can repent for your transgressions, but also repent for the transgressions of your forefathers, because you are your forefathers, right? Our forefathers always did that, man. They didn't just pray for themselves. They prayed for the men that lived on the earth before them who transgressed. And we do the same thing, right? So don't just, like I said, there's nothing wrong with repenting and blotting out your sins on the individual level. But remember, we're a nation of people, man. Right? So let's read on Daniel 9 and 20.
The book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 20. And it reads, And whilst I was speaking and praying and confessing my sin and the sin of my people Israel, and presenting my supplication before the Lord my God for the holy mountain of my God, yea, while I was speaking in prayer, even the man Gabriel, whom I had seen in the vision at the beginning, being caused to fly swiftly, touched me about the time of the evening oblation.
That's deep. You sitting there, you praying. Imagine you call upon the name of the Lord, you praying, and then while you praying, the Lord sending Gabriel down, the archangel, and kind of touch you, man. Hey, brother, man, we might pass out. You see Gabriel kind of touch you. You're trying to figure out what's going on. So that's what happened to Daniel. Right, let's read on. And the evening oblation is the time of the evening sacrifice. Right, let's read on.
Verse 22, And he informed me and talked with me and said, O Daniel, I am now come forth to give thee skill and understanding.
I'm going to break down to you how long, you're here you are repenting on behalf of your nation and acknowledging the sins and saying we all fell away. I'm going to break down how long that's going to last. And I'm going to break down to you what's going to come out of that, man. That's what it means I've come to give these skill and understanding, right? He's not doing this for fun. This is the answer to Daniel's prayer. Daniel's repenting. The angels coming down to let him know why Israel is going what they're going through, how long it's going to be, and what's going to happen. Right? Let's read on.
Verse 23, At the beginning of thy supplications, and the commandment came forth, and I am come to shew thee, for thou art greatly beloved. Therefore, understand the matter and consider the vision.
Right.
70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon thy holy city to finish the transgression and to make an end of sins and to make reconciliation for iniquity and to bring an everlasting righteousness and to seal up the vision and prophecy and to anoint the most holy.
Let's read that again because we're going to have to read this multiple times.
Okay. Verse 24, 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon thy holy city.
So 70 weeks are determined upon the Israelites and our holy city, Jerusalem. Right? Go on.
To finish the transgression. And
that's number one, right? 70 weeks to get these things done. The first thing is what? To finish the transgression. Go on.
And to make an end of sins.
That's number two, to make an end of sins.
And to bring in everlasting righteousness.
You skipped.
Oh, Slakia. And to make reconciliation.
For iniquity.
For iniquity.
That's number three.
And to bring in everlasting righteousness.
That's number four.
And to seal up the vision and the prophecy.
To seal up the vision is number five, and the prophecy is number six.
And to anoint the most holy.
And that's seven. You got 70 weeks to accomplish 7 different things. Right? 70 weeks to accomplish 7 things. And that's what they're listed one by one by one by one by one by one. Now, when you go to these 70 weeks, remember it's not actually 70 weeks. All right. These are weeks of years. All right. You got a precept, Jeremiah?
Okay.
Bring it up.
This is Ezekiel chapter 4 and verse 6. And it reads, and when thou hast accomplished them, lie again on thy right side, and thou shalt bear the iniquity of the house of Judah 40 days. I have appointed thee each day for a year. So 40 days, each day for a year. So that'd be, of course, 40 years. Now, putting that with Daniel 9 prophecy, says 70 weeks, each day for a year. 7 weeks would be 7 years. So 7 times 70, 490 years.
Right. Now, you see that word week, a lot of brothers, I don't believe that. It's only 7 days. The word week in the Hebrew is not the same, thing that you think of when you're in America or with the Western mindset. That word week, when you go into it in the Hebrew, that word week is Shabawai. Right now, Shabawai, when you look it up, it means a period of 7. It doesn't mean 7 days, right? Shabawai just means a period of 7. You can have a 7 months straight, or you can have 7 years straight. You can have 7 days straight. You can have 7 centuries straight, 7 millennium straight. It's still going to be a week. So you have a week of days, and you also have a week of years. That's why the brother went to the precept, each day for a year. Right? Let's go to Genesis 29 and 27. You was already there? Shalom up.
Shalom, King.
Shalom. Genesis chapter 29, verse 27.
I can bring
And
it
it
up.
reads. Huh?
No, you got it.
Were you about to bring it up?
Yeah, I'll bring it up.
Oh, good.
This is Genesis chapter 29, verse 27. And it reads, fulfill her week, and we will give thee this also for the service which thou shalt serve with me yet 7 other years.
7 other what?
7 other years.
See that? So Laban told Jacob, yeah, you work for me 7 years, and you got Leah. You really want Rachel? Work for me another week. That other week is called 7 years, man. He worked 1 week for Leah, and he had to work another week for Rachel. But that week is what? Each day is a year, right? So his first year, that's the first day. His second year is the second day. His third year working is the third day, all the way up till they get to his 7th year, which is his 7th day, which makes it a week. Let's go to the book of Numbers 14 and I believe 34. Right, let's get that. So brothers should understand now how that word week doesn't necessarily mean 7 days. All right, that's what the so-called white man wants you to believe, man. That's why brothers that go to this 70 weeks. I don't know when it happened. Did it go on? It's not talking about damn Sunday through damn Sunday, man. Let's read that Numbers 14 and 34.
The book of Numbers, chapter 14, verse 34. And it reads, after the number of the days in which ye searched the land, even 40 days, each day for a year, shall ye bear your iniquities, even 40 years, and ye shall know my breach of promise.
See that? Breach of promise. The Lord promised Israel to go into that land, coming out of Egypt. The Lord sent 12 spies, 1 spy from each tribe, to spy out the land of Canaan for 40 days. He sent them out there, Caleb, Joshua, and 10 other men. For 40 days, they was out there spying out the land, when you read the account. They came back, and 10 of those guys brought an evil report of the land, which is off, man. Here the Most High gave the promised land, I don't like it. All right? It's all right. The people there, the fruit ain't like that. That's evil, man. So the Lord said, all right, yeah, you spied out the land for 40 days. since you rebelled, I'm gonna make you spend 40 days in the wilderness, but each day is going to be a year, right? So now they was out there for what, 40 years in the wilderness, based off of them being 40 days spying out the land, right? If a brother had a precept, we can bring it out. I got another one.
Brother brought out Ezekiel
Con.
4. Okay, come.
I got a precept. This Leviticus 25:8. And it reads, and thou shalt number 7 Sabbaths of years unto thee, 7 times 7 years, and the space of the 7 Sabbaths of years shall be unto thee 49 years. Right? So, hey, that's playing upon tables, man. 7 Sabbaths of years. Right? We know Sabbath is a week. On the 7th day is the Sabbath. 7 Sabbaths of years.
See
Right?
that?
That's pretty, yes. Plain.
Yeah, and that precept is going into the Jubilee. You have the year of Jubilee that the brother's going into. So you have your 6 years of work and 1 year of rest. That's why it's called a Sabbath of years, right? That's what the year of release is, right? Let's get that in Nehemiah real quick, chapter 10. I believe that's Nehemiah 10 and 31. Right, let's get Nehemiah 10 and 31 about the Sabbath of years.
The book of Nehemiah, chapter 10, verse 31. And if the people of the land bring ware or any victuals on the Sabbath day to sell, that we would not buy it of them on the Sabbath or on a holy day, and that we would leave this 7th year.
And we would, because that 7th year is the Sabbath year, right? They knew about that, and we would leave the 7th year
And the exaction of every debt.
right, and the exaction of every debt. So our forefathers knew about the Sabbath year. We don't know about that now. Jake, you don't even know what time it is, man. I know certain brothers, they can't tell time unless it's a damn digital clock, man. So how you supposed to know the Sabbath of years? You know? So I know brothers, they wear watches, and you ask them what time it is, and they pull out their phone. Right? The Lord is not dealing with that, man. Our forefathers knew how to calculate the times and the years. So you had 6 years of work, 1 year of rest. 6 years of work, 1 year of rest. That happened 7 times. So by the time you got to your 49th year, you added 1 more year, and that was your year of Jubilee. Right? That's the precept. That's plain. So these are your 70 weeks, which are 70 periods of 7, which the brother went into 490. So you got to know basic math in this thing too, right? You can't. I hate math. You got to know it, man. If you don't know fundamental math, then you're not going to be able to get some of these prophecies, right? You don't have to know calculus, you know, but you got to know the fundamentals. So let's go back to Daniel 9 and 24. And oh, you on mute?
The book of Daniel. Oh, Salaki, you was about to say something?
No, go ahead. I was going to say real quick, Salaki. That's why the world doesn't get it. The world doesn't get it because they don't go through the precepts. The Lord makes it plain. He put it all throughout on different accounts. Moses has a witness about the weeks, twice in Genesis and Leviticus. Ezekiel, right? That's a witness. And even in Numbers, these are different accounts of how the Lord deals prophetically with weeks. So that's why you have to read the whole Bible. That's how the Lord put it together as a mystery. You know? So we can read on.
The book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 24. 70 weeks are determined upon thy people and upon thy holy city to finish the transgression and to make an end of sins and to make reconciliation for iniquity and to bring in everlasting righteousness and to seal up the vision and prophecy and to anoint the most holy.
Right. These 7 things have to get done in these 70 years. Right. Let's go on.
Verse 25. And it reads, know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah, the Prince, shall be 7 weeks and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall, even in troublous times.
Right. So this is some history, right? You had a commandment. Initially, initially given by Cyrus. When you go deeper in his prophecy, it's going into Artaxerxes. But Cyrus initially gave the commandment, right? And all of the other kings that followed, they what is the word I'm looking for? They reinforced the commandment, right? And we're not going to read all of Ezra and Nehemiah to you, right? We're not going to read all of the chapters and go through every account and the crafty council and why Darius had to write the letter, and then why Artaxerxes had to write the letter twice, and then why we're not going to do that, right? You have to read those accounts in Ezra and Nehemiah to really understand what's going on in Daniel 9 and 25. Now I got a quick precept. Let's go to 2 Chronicles 36 and 22. All right, let's go to 2 Chronicles chapter 36 and verse 22. Right? So the commandment initially started with Cyrus, but when you go deep into the prophecy, it's dealing with the time of Artaxerxes. That's why it tells you about the building of the wall. Right? Let's get that real quick.
Book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 2,
36 and 22.
36, verse 22. Now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of the Lord spoken by the mouth of Jeremiah might be accomplished, the Lord stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, that he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom, and put it also in writing, saying, Thus said Cyrus, king of Persia, all the kingdoms of the earth hath the Lord God of heaven given me, and he hath charged me to build him an house in Jerusalem, which is in Judah. Who is there among you of all his people? The Lord his God be with him, and let him go up.
See that? And when was that commandment given out? Around 538 BC. Right? 538 BC. The Lord, Cyrus didn't do this because he loved the Most High. Well, I love the Jews. A lot of brothers, you're nice towards Cyrus. I don't want to put Cyrus in slavery because he allowed us. No, the Lord allowed us to do it, man. Cyrus didn't know what was going on. It said the Lord stirred up the spirit of Cyrus in 538 BC to allow men to go back and build up Jerusalem that was destroyed by the Chaldeans in 586 BC. See that? Now, like I said, we're not. I had an article I want to put up on Cyrus, but you can look up Cyrus the Great on your own, right? If we really went in depth in the biography of these different men, we'll run out of time. We'll be doing this for 4 hours. So you can look up Cyrus the Great. I did a cold cut on it this past Sabbath, going into the kings of the Persia, right? And he was the first king of the Achaemenid Empire. Right, and he initially had the commandment going on in 538 BC. All right, let me just show it real quick. Right, Salakia. Let me just pull this up just so brothers can see what's going on in this thing. All right, can brothers see the screen? All right, Salaki, bear with me. All right, brother should be able to see the screen. Still can't?
All
right, well, that's okay. All right, that's okay. Satan is bring it out, King.
This is Nehemiah, the 2nd chapter. Start verse.
Oh, let's hold that precept. We're gonna hold that one.
Okay, fine.
Because we're trying to do it in order, in chronological order. Right? Let's go to Isaiah 44 and 28.
Con, I got a precept after you.
All right, let's bring it out. See, when we go to Nehemiah 2, like the brother want to go into, that's a little later in the timeline. That's around 444 BC. Right now, we're dealing with the initial commandment by Cyrus in 538 BC, but then we're going to eventually bring that precept out. So let's read that, Baba Kashar. Isaiah 44 and 28.
The book of Isaiah, chapter 44, verse 28. And it reads, that saith of Cyrus, He is my shepherd, and shall perform all my pleasure, even saying to Jerusalem, Thou shalt be built, and to the temple, thy foundation shall be laid.
See that? That's plain. So even Isaiah prophesied about Cyrus, damn, hundreds of years ago, man. Hundreds of years ago. Many years ago, before it even happened, he named the man by name. How is the Bible a fictitious book? When you look up the time of Isaiah and he prophesied about Cyrus, that's decades before it even happened, man.
Yeah.
And it came to pass. That's an easy thing. Right? I just wanted to bring that up. That's Isaiah 44 and 28 showing you the exact same thing as described in 2 Chronicles 36 and 22.
Right? And Isaiah got multiple accounts, talking about Cyrus. You understand? You go to the 45th chapter, the 46th chapter, the 41st chapter. These are all accounts of him prophesying about Cyrus. Right? It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 45 and verse 1. Thus saith the Lord, to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand I have upholden. Don't read that out of context, man. The Lord just chose this heathen to execute his counsel, whatever the Lord wants to do. The Lord raises up all of these kings of the earth, you understand, to destroy him, to magnify his name. He'll lift them up with a whole kingdom, riches, right? He'll have the dominion and thrones just to overthrow them, man, or to manipulate them. You read about that in Revelation, man. He can stir up all of these kings of the earth to fulfill his will. It's also in Joshua, you understand, 11. It says, thus saith the Lord to his anointed, to Cyrus, whose right hand I've upholden. That's not upholding to salvation. That's upholding to literally manipulate him to the elements to save us. To subdue nations before him, like he did, and I will loosen the loins of kings, right? Because he literally subdued nations. When you read Isaiah the 13th chapter, he took down the Babylonians. It says, to open before him the 2 leavened gates, and the gates shall not be shut. It's talking about Jerusalem. You understand? Also, when you read Isaiah chapter 46 and verse 11, it says, calling the ravenous bird from the east, the man that executeth my counsel. So whatever the Lord's counsel is, he can use anybody to do it. Doesn't have to be just an Israelite. The Lord could raise up anybody, man. He used Jethro, you understand, during the time of Moses, to literally tell Moses, look, this work is too hard for you. It says, calling a revelous bird from the east, the man that executeth my counsel from a far country. Yeah, I have spoken it. I will also bring it to pass. I have proposed it. I will also do it. Hearken unto me, ye snout-hearted that are far from righteousness. I will bring near my righteousness. And that's twofold. It's talking about the kingdom and literally fulfilling his will, right? For what's to build up Jerusalem. It shall not be far off, and my salvation shall not tarry, and I will place salvation in Zion for Israel, my glory.
See that? That's plain. Plain upon tables, man. Right? Cyrus was the initial one to have the decree sent out. And they had really, and we went into that in the Daniel, the 2nd chapter breakdown. The hidden mysteries in Daniel, right? We should have kind of threw this in the history mysteries of Daniel thing, man. Because we went into how the Persian Empire was a tolerant government. And they allowed any nation to serve their own God and their own idols. Whatever nation, whatever their so-called religion was, King Cyrus differed from a lot of those other kings because he allowed them to do what they wanted to do. Right? And he allowed the Jews to go back and build up the temple, man. These things actually happen, man. These are real. Cyrus is a real man that walked the earth. He's not a fairy tale. He's not a mythological creature. He's not like a damn griffin or a damn Bigfoot. He's a real man. Scholars know that. And he had the decree for us to go back and build, man. Right? And you had men that went back, Zerubbabel and Joshua. Right? They were some of the first men to go back. And like I said, if you want to read all of Ezra in Nehemiah on your own, and you want to get all of the names, you're writing the notes down, you want to get the names of all the men that went back. Hey, we encourage brothers to do so, man. Right? We encourage brothers, right, to go get all of the names and look into it, man. Let's go to Ezra 1 and 1.
Con, I got a precept after you.
Con.
The book of Ezra, chapter 1, verse 1. Now in the first year of Cyrus, king of Persia, that the word of the Lord by the mouth of Jeremiah might be fulfilled, the Lord stirred up the spirit of Cyrus, king of Persia, that he made a proclamation throughout all his kingdom, and put it also in writing, saying, Thus said,
We're gonna keep reading.
Thus said Cyrus, king of Persia, the Lord God of heaven hath given me all the kingdoms of the earth, and he hath charged me to build him an house at Jerusalem, which is in Judah. Who is there among you of all his people? His God be with him, and let him go up to Jerusalem, which is in Judah, and build the house of the Lord God of Israel. He is the God which is in Jerusalem. And whosoever remaineth in any place where he sojourneth, let the man of his place help him with silver, and with gold, and with the goods, and with the beasts, beside the free will offering for the house of God that is in Jerusalem. Then rose up the chief of the fathers of Judah, and Benjamin, and the priests, and the Levites, with all them whose spirit God had raised up, to go up to build the house of the Lord, which is in Jerusalem. And all they that were about them strengthened their hands with the vessels of silver, with gold, with goods, and with beasts, and with precious things, beside all that was willingly offered.
See that?
Verse
Salaki, go on.
Verse 7.
Yeah, let's sit on that. Let's sit on that. So the point is, like I said, we're not going to read all of Ezra, but it's the same thing. The chief of the fathers went up. The Lord stirred up the spirit of Benjamin and Levi and Judah to go back to Jerusalem and build. Now, certain men stayed. I don't want to go. It's destroyed. The work can't be done. I don't want to labor. I'm comfortable. I don't want to get up and do the work. Forget Jerusalem. I'm a Babylonian. Right? That's evil, man. And they had that Esther movie. I don't know if brother saw it. It was an Esther movie. You know, they don't look like Jake, but it was an Esther movie. And they showed Ezra going back to build Jerusalem, man. And it was certain Jake's they was like, look, I don't want to go. You know, and that's the same days we live in there now. You got it, King.
Con, right? It's the book of Ezra, chapter 7 and verse 27. And that's going into literally what we've been going into, man. The Lord can raise up anybody he wants to manipulate them to do his will, right? It's Ezra 7 and 27. Blessed be the Lord God of our fathers, which have put such a thing as this in the king's heart, to beautify the house of the Lord, which is in Jerusalem. So the Lord put it in his heart. He wasn't the first heathen in history to say, let's save the children of Israel and help them out, man. So the Lord plays the mind and puts in the heart how he wants to manipulate man. It said, and have extended mercy unto me before the king and his counselors and before all the king's mighty princes. And I was strengthened as the hand of the Lord my God was upon me. And I gathered together out of Israel chief men to go up with me. So when you're doing the work, or you got a basketball team, you're not going to call all the scrubs. You're not going to gather all the third strings, the one that have the ACL tour last season. But you're going to gather the men that know how to ball out, man. The same with our forefathers. The gathering the chief men like the brother was going into, that's the nobles, you understand? That's the men that really know what's going on, the elders, and even the prophets. When you read Ezra, the 5th chapter, it's Ezra chapter 5 and verse 1. Then the prophets, right? Haggai, the prophet Zechariah, the son of Adu, prophesied it unto the Jews, like we just read in the 1st chapter, that were in Judah and Jerusalem in the name of the God of Israel, even unto them. Then rose up Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, and Jeshua, the son of Zodak, and began to build the house of God, which is at Jerusalem. And with them were the prophets of God helping them. And all of those prophets were chief men and nobles that went up to do the work of the Lord, man. It wasn't lazy, it wasn't slothful, right? They wasn't timid. They had a mind to work, like it say in the book of Nehemiah 4 and 14, man. They was on fire, they really cared about it, and they took the word of the Lord, you understand, and it was in their heart burning as a fire, and they went to go do the work. So you have to have chief men in this thing when you're building up the house of the Lord. When you're building anything, you can't throw something together. So the Lord said it through the Spirit. You know, he put it, manipulated his mind, raised them up, right, gave the decree, and now the nobles and the chief men went to go build a house.
Yeah, and let me say this. Everybody wants to be a scholar when the videos come out. Yeah, brother saying, no, do it like this. That's not what it's talking about. It is what brothers, let us break it down, brother. That's not what it's talking about. Brothers and people, get it right. Brother, we breaking it down, brother. Right? We got leave it to the men of the Lord, humbly speaking, to break it down. You got it, Yaradan.
I was out there teaching last week. You know, brother said, well, actually, don't forget this. I said, brother, where have you been at? Where's your videos? Where are your fringes at? He said, well, I think you should have kind of did this, and you got to flip that page this way, brother. My brother actually said that you being harsh with that word, brother. I said, where have you been at? This is the first time that we saw you before. Jake always got something to say when he sees somebody else doing something.
Right. So let's continue. So the initial, you had a point?
Yeah, I had a precept.
Come.
Quick precept. This is Zechariah chapter 4 and verse 9. It said, the hands of Zerubbabel have laid the foundation of this house. His hands shall also finish it, and thou shalt know that the Lord of hosts has sent me unto you. Right. So the brother going to Zerubbabel and the priest building up the temple, said his hands shall finish it. Yahweh Shah, right? Because we kind of jumped the gun, but we're gonna be building up this spiritual temple with the spirit of Yahweh from Yahweh Shah. You know, putting in the same work that they were doing, time of Ezra and Nehemiah.
Right. And I want to add, so the initial commandment, like we're going into, was sent out by Cyrus. But you had crafty counsel, you had strategic plans and plots going on. Let's go to 1 Ezra 5. So the commandment had to be reconfirmed by Darius, and finally going into the prophecy during the time of Artaxerxes. Right? So let's go to that. Let's go to 1 Ezra, what I call 5 and I believe I want 73.
Okay.
Let's read 5 and 73.
First Ezra chapter 5, verse 73. And by their secret plots and
start at 70.
Verse 70. First Ezra chapter 5, verse 70. Then Zerubbabel and Joshua.
That's Joshua, right? Brothers looking, it says Jesus. It's not talking about Jesus Christ. Right? It's talking about Joshua. But it says Jesus because that's the Greek way of saying Joshua. Right. Which goes back to the Hebrew word Yahweh Shah, which means he delivered. Right? But let's read it again. First Ezra 5 and 70.
Then Zerubbabel and Joshua and the chief of the families of
why would you
Israel.
want to call the Lord Jesus? That makes no sense. Well, you might as well call the Lord Joshua. You know? A lot of brothers, man, you can call him whatever you want to call him. That's not his name. So, let's read it again.
First Ezra chapter 5, verse 70. Then Zerubbabel and Joshua, the chief of the families of Israel, said unto them, it is not for us and you to build together an house unto the Lord of our God. Verse 71. We ourselves alone will build unto the Lord of Israel according as Cyrus, the king of the Persians, hath commanded us.
Right.
But the heathen of the land lying heavy upon the inhabitants of Judea, and holding them straight, hindered their building.
Yeah, they hindered the building. They sent crafty letters, counsels. They tried to assassinate Nehemiah. You got it, King.
You know, it was probably like, well, where's your work permit? Where is
Yep.
this? You don't
Yep.
have the proper amount of tools and soldiers and workers required to actually finish this
Right.
building. Therefore, we'll find you 9,000 shekels.
Yeah.
Something crazy.
Yeah. That's how Esau is, man. You out there teaching, you need a permit, or you need a license to be here.
Right.
Who sent you out? You got to run.
Oh, yeah, like the brother saying, oppression, man. This is Nehemiah chapter 2 and verse 9. Then I came to the governors beyond the river that gave them the king's letters. Now the king has sent captains of the army and horsemen with me. You think they was there? Them telling jokes the whole time, and they was oppressing them, man. It say, when Shelabat the Horonite and Tobiah the servant of the Ammonite heard of it, it grieved them exceedingly that there was come a man to seek the welfare of the children of Israel. So it said these heathens, they got grieved that somebody cared and seek the welfare of Israel, man. So what you think that when they got grieved, what they did? They had crafty counsels. They came up, they hindered the building, they made false accusation, they made up lies, right? Like the brother said, they oppressed, they spreaded rumors. These were all the heathens do right now, man. You could be doing the work, and then a so-called white man, he go to the police, yeah, they were being extra rude. And one had a club and he waved it, and it almost hit my face. Next thing you know, man, the whole police squad roll up, man, right? Asking questions. So these heathens, man, you already know, they don't want us to build. And like the brother brought out early, we build in a spiritual temple. So if you a man in this truth, you build in some type of way on a spiritual level, because everybody coming together as a brick in these last days. But on a physical level, these men, they didn't want the building to prosper, so they were literally pissed off, and they literally sent captains, an army of horsemen with me, right? And didn't they do that in slavery? They put a sign around your neck, right? And then you had a damn pass. Then they heard you in the bushes. Where you going there, boy? Let me see that pass. You gotta show them the pass. Hey, you have certain people that walk with you, right? What they call them? Assist you along the way, right? So all of these things, man, hey, is double step, which is, and it was in the past. You got it.
That's right. That's right. All right, like I said, brothers got to read Ezra and Nehemiah, man. Let's read on the first Ezra chapter 5.
Come. First Ezra chapter 5,
73.
verse 73. And by their secret plots and popular persuasions and commotions, they hindered the finishing of the building all the time that King Cyrus lived. So they were hindered from building for the space of 2 years until the reign of Darius.
Until the reign of Darius. Secret plots. Stop thinking these heathen love you, man. Right? You have we was out there teaching, the brother Rod was teaching you at the Coon saying, well, we have people to represent us. They have secret plots. The man from Haiti, he could be at the United Nations. There's places that these guys, the president of Mexico can't go. The damn president of Haiti, he might be able to show up with a suit and tie at the United Nations, but there's places that this guy has no access to. Meetings where he's not invited. Conversations where he has no input, man. About him, about setting him up. They had a crafty counsel on how to set him up to be the president, because he was gullible enough to go for it. So the heathen have secret plots, popular persuasions, and commotions, man, to try to stop us from doing the work. You got it, King.
And Salaki, a real quick point, right? The brother just reminded me of the movie, man, Head of State. They had a crafty counsel to come get a gullible Jake and build him up and make him the damn puppet face, man.
Yep.
So I don't think that he knows, even so-called in that movie, being a president, what the hell is going on, man?
Yeah.
He didn't even know what the hell was going on.
He had no idea what was going on, man. He getting Bernie Mac, Bernie coming to his thing and being a damn nigga, man.
Right.
Went to DC, you know, they just pulled a nobody, man.
Right.
You know, and they was planning that for years, man. When you go into that, because they said, okay, we're gonna do this for 4 years, and the next 4 years, we're gonna put this guy in office. Right? So that linked up what the brother was going into, man. You got it, King.
I got precept. This Ezra 4 and 3. But Zerubbabel and Joshua and the rest of the chief of the fathers of Israel said unto them, ye have nothing to do with us to build an house unto our God. And they said that for a reason, you know, because they understood, you know, the ways of the heathen and how they possibly trying to, disrupt them, mess up everything. You ask for a piece of brick, they give you limestone. It's all uneven. They mess up everything. It's like, doing labor with somebody and they don't really know what's going on, right? And then they're kind of new on the job. You ask for pliers, they give you a hammer. Let me finish. You have nothing to do with us to build the house unto our God, but we ourselves together will build unto the Lord, the God of Israel. King Cyrus, King Cyrus, the king of Persia, had commanded us.
That's it.
Let me finish. Then the people of the land weakened the hands of the people of Judah and troubled them in building and hired counselors against them to frustrate their purpose. Isn't that wicked, to frustrate their purpose?
Hey, real quick, that mean to put demons on them. When you frustrate, it's a spirit on you.
Yeah.
They basically doing works and witchcraft to summon demons and put it on you to get you out the spirit so you can't build.
Yeah. Calm.
Yeah, precept. All right.
Calm. It's the book of Nehemiah, chapter 4, right in verse 7. But it came to pass that when Sanballat and Tobiah and the Arabians and the Amorites and the Ashdodites heard that the wall of Jerusalem were made up and that the breaches began to be stopped, then they were very wroth and conspired, all of them together. So they had a secret council, man. As soon as they seen the bricks was coming together, right? Everybody had swords in their hands. Everybody was on fire. Everybody was praising the Lord. They wouldn't stop building. It wasn't just an average of 4 hours and then they got off. An average 8 hours. These men were out there all night, man. And once they saw the building up, they was very wroth and conspired, all of them together, to come to fight against Jerusalem and to hinder it. Nevertheless, we made our prayer unto our God and set a watch against them day and night because of them. So we go into the history all of the time of how on fire our forefathers was, and they was on fire night and day. But we never think about the just balance. These heathens wanted us them destroyed so much that we had to watch night and day, right, our backs. These men were literally at nighttime seeking to destroy the men, and the morning time, in the evening time, right? All throughout the watches of the day, you had to have a watchman literally to watch our backs because of the conspirators, and they wanted to overthrow the wall, man. Now, if you have an enemy and they're building something and you want to take it down, you're going to catch them when they're gullible, man, when the sword not in their hand. But they stayed with the swords in their hand, and they stayed building, and they had to watch 24/7, and it was ordained by the Lord.
I got a quick point. When my folks, they had a building and it kind of got jammed up and we had to kind of restore it through the spirit, and Esau came out in a truck and the dude came out in a suit, kind of looking through his wallet, trying to give his card, saying, look, you got to contact these people if you kind of want to finish. It was real wicked, for real. He kind of persuaded us, say, look, man, I'm going to send a whole bunch of, what is it called? Inspectors. They kind of inspect this place. Because it was wood on the grass. There was some tools over there. He said, look, need somebody to inspect this and expect this other guy to come next week. Because Esau, they buying up the whole block. And Esau tried to frustrate us. He tried to stop us from building.
See that? See that, Salakia? You got to get the scoffers out of here, too. You got scoffers. And these could be Edomites. Try to hinder the building. They're doing it live. Sanballat is back on the earth. All right, the Horites, all them damn evil men are back on the earth, man. It's not just damn Peter, John, and James back on the earth, man. The Horite, Sanballat, all these crafty dudes are back on the earth, man. Right? So I wanted to pull this up. All right, it should be working now just to show brothers a list of the Persian kings, the Achaemenid kings. Right? So initially with Cyrus, the prophecy is really going to Artaxerxes for the 7th time, but we have to show you where it began. right? So can brother see the screen?
Con.
Right. So Cyrus the Great, he is the one who initially sent the decree out in 538 BC. Right. Cyrus II of Persia, commonly known as Cyrus the Great, and also called Cyrus the Elder by Greeks, was the founder of the Achaemenid Empire, the first Persian Empire. Right. And he reigned from 559 to 530 BC. Now, they were building all the way up during the time of Cambyses, Bardiya, all the way up until they were hindered till it came to Darius. So they got hindered during the time of Cambyses II. They got hindered during the time of Bardiya, and they were allowed to do the work during the time of Darius. So imagine you can't go out and teach, do no videos, no work, no highways and byways, for 10 years, 8 years. Brothers will fall out. Right? I can't do, I don't know what to do. You'll lose your mind for 8 to 10 years, man. Or whatever. Not being able to go and labor and do the work. So they have to patiently bear that affliction, man. You know they want to build. People, and then when it's time to build again, people not going to want to go out there. So it's like a psychological thing too, man. They know that we have the right to build, but like Yaradan was saying, these devils, they'll come up with all types of stuff. You need a permit, you need a license, you can't do this, you can't do that. You see that? And like I said, when you read Ezra and Nehemiah, man, they went beyond great extremities to hinder the building. All the way up to during the time of Darius I, right? Who reigned from 422 to 486. Right? So I just want to pull that up. And I got a precept. Let's go to the book of Ezra, chapter 6, and I believe 13. Let's go to Ezra 6 and 13. Precept upon precept, line upon line.
The book of Ezra.
Actually,
6.
Ezra, 6 and 13. Start at 12.
The book of Ezra, chapter 6, verse 12. And the God that hath caused his name to dwell, and the God that hath caused his name to dwell there, destroy all kings and people that shall put to their hand to alter and to destroy this house of God, which is at Jerusalem. I, Darius, have made a decree. Let it be done with speed.
So now Darius had to come in because they stopped the building. Right? Go on.
Then Tatanai, governor on this side, the river, Shethar, Banzai, and their companions, according to that which Darius the king had sent. So they did speedily. And the elders of the Jews builded, and they prospered through their prophesying of Haggai and the prophet, and Zechariah the son of Iddo.
See that? And that's how we prosper, through the prophesying. Through the prophesying of the prophets, that stirs us up to build, man. Brothers out there laboring, doing the work, a brother in the spirit. They make everybody get in the spirit, man. Right? Let's go on.
God. And the elders of the Jews builded, and they prospered through the prophesying of Haggai the prophet and Zechariah the son of Iddo.
So the only way to prosper as a nation is to prophesy. You ought to get that on the t-shirt. In order to prosper, you have to prophesy. Let's go on.
And they builded and finished it according to the commandment of the God of Israel, and according to the commandment of Cyrus and Darius and Artaxerxes, king of Persia.
See that these are the three men: Cyrus in 538 BC, Darius around 520 BC, and Artaxerxes, right? Twice. Once in 457 BC, and ultimately fulfilling the prophecy around 445, 444 BC. Right? So these are your main three men in Ezra chapter 6 and 14. Cyrus, Darius, and Artaxerxes, the kings of Persia. Let's go to the book of Haggai. Right? And Haggai is a mighty book, man. Right? Let's go to the book of Haggai, and I want to read chapter 1. We're going to read 1 through 4. 1 through 5. Haggai 1 and 1. So Haggai and Zechariah were contemporaries. I mean, they lived at the exact same time, and they was out there. There was a two-man camp prophesying for Zerubbabel and Joshua, encouraging them to build the temple. Like I said, they was getting slothful. They didn't want to go out there and build. They had all this hindering going on. So the Lord stirred up the spirit of these men to get them back on fire to go out there and do the work. And the Lord could do that, man. You might be feeling slothful, lazy, with your head down, and the Lord can stir up the spirit of Jeremiah or Ariah or Yaradan to damn light a fire on you, man, and get on you. And that was the purpose of Haggai and Zechariah, to keep them on fire. All right, let's get that in Haggai 1 and 1.
And I got a precept after you. This is Haggai chapter 1, verse 1. In the 2nd year of Darius the king, in the 6th month, the 1st day of the month, came the word of the Lord by Haggai the prophet unto Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, governor of Judah, and to Joshua, the son of Josedek, the high priest, saying, Thus speaketh the Lord of hosts, saying, This people say, the time is not come, the time that the Lord's house should be built.
See that they had their head down. Right? Oh, it ain't time. They stopped us from doing it again. Maybe we shouldn't go out there. They keep doing these crafty counsels. Now it's not the time to build the house of the Lord. Right? Go on. And you got brothers like that, man. You might get hemmed up out there teaching. The brothers say, well, maybe we shouldn't go out there. Maybe it's not time. Let's just wait and see what happens. Let's go on.
Then came the word of the Lord by Haggai the prophet, saying, Is it time for you, O ye, to dwell in your sealed houses, and this house lie waste? Now therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. Ye have sown much, and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes.
Yeah, so your success is based off of doing the work. You're not going to be successful in your ways unless you're successful doing the work of the Most High. That's how it works, man. Right? You're not going to prosper in this world unless you're doing the work of the Lord, man. A lot of brothers, I'm broke, going job, doing this, brother, because you don't study, you don't read, you're not keeping no commandments. You're going the hell off. I'm broke. I can't do nothing. Well, put the blood down, brother. So, I don't have to get too much on that, but I want to make this quick note before your precept, Yaradan. So when it says in 1 and 1, the 2nd year of Darius the king, that's 520 BC. August 29th, 520 BC. Right? Darius gave that decree out. Or that's during the time of Haggai, rather. During the Haggai 1 and 1, it's August 520 BC. You got it, Yaradan.
This is 2nd Ezra chapter 14, verse 25. Just to let me back off the brother saying, hey, Most High put the spirit in you to do anything through the spirit, right? But in this case, the topic is prophesying. Let me back off that precept you pulled, 2nd Ezra 5 and 25. And come hither, and I shall light a candle of understanding in thine heart, which shall not be put out till the things be performed, which thou shalt begin to write. And the Lord did that. Nobody else did it. Not Darius. He didn't like that candle of understanding. Not Xerxes, none of them. But the Lord. You got to pray that the Lord do that to you. Increase your flame.
Huh. Was that on that, Yaradan?
Kind.
Brother, another precept, we can move on.
Yeah, we can move on.
All right, let's go back to the book of like I said, brothers got to read Haggai too, man. Right? Hey, let's jump down real quick. Haggai 1 and 13.
The book of Haggai, chapter 1, verse 13.
Yeah, so like in the previously it said, is it time for you to dwell in your sealed houses? Because Jake, you want to live good, man. You want to live good. You want the flat screen. You want the damn 8-bedroom house but the Lord's house needs to be built, huh? Gotta get my house built. Gotta fix my door. I gotta get home renovations. Want to update my patio. I want to extend my porch. I want to do this. I want to do that. You know any lawn technicians, right? With the Lord not dealing with you trying to get your house built up, and the Lord's house ain't built up, man. That's why brothers' house be catching fire, damn wildfires, earthquakes. You got idols in your house. The Lord, brothers, get your house right, man. And I'm talking about the Lord's house.
All right.
You know? But let's real quick. Come. And the Lord is against that, man. I want to jump to 13 before we move on. Haggai 1-13.
The book of Haggai, chapter 1, verse 13. Then spake Haggai, the Lord's messenger, and the Lord's message unto the people, saying, I am with you, saith the Lord. And the Lord stirred up the spirit of Zerubbabel.
No, he did it on his own.
He stirred up the spirit of Zerubbabel, the son of Shealtiel, governor of Judah, and the spirit of Joshua, the son of Josedek, the high priest, and the spirit of all the remnant of the people. And they came and did the work in the house of the Lord of hosts, their God.
That's mighty, man. The Lord stirred up their spirit and they start working. All right? That's how we are, man. We're not doing this because we want to do this. We was niggas out in the streets and the Lord just stirred up our spirit to go come into the truth. We ain't nothing, man. A lot of brothers, you think you something. The Lord just stirred up your spirit to get it done. Just hurry up and get this done. I can use anybody. I'll just use you. Here's a few precepts. Here's a little bit of understanding. And the Lord said in Luke 19, because thou hast been faithful in a little. So a lot of brothers think you know every damn thing. The Lord said, here's a little bit, man. You was faithful in a little. You know? So the Lord can stir up your spirit to go out there and do the work. Any brother in his truth or sister, the Lord stirred up your spirit to come into this thing. You know?
Okay.
So we can get back to Daniel.
We left that at 25.
Yeah, let's read 25 again.
Now therefore, so like Daniel chapter 9, verse 25. Now therefore, and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah, the Prince, shall be 7 weeks, and 62 weeks. The street shall be built again, and the wall, even the troublous time.
And that's how you know this is really going into the time of Nehemiah. Because when was the wall built? During Nehemiah. He went back to build the wall. Zerubbabel and Joshua didn't go back to build the wall. They built the foundation in the temple. When Nehemiah went, he built the wall and he built the streets and the different gates. So yeah, the commandment came from Cyrus, but prophetically it's deeply going into Artaxerxes. Because Artaxerxes gave 2 decrees to go back to Jerusalem. One for Ezra and 457 BC. You can read that in Ezra 7 and 1 on down. And one for Nehemiah. And what were the troublous times? They tried to kill Nehemiah and kill our forefathers and assassinate them. Thus the troublous times that we had to build in. We didn't build like the brothers going to earlier and everything was okay and the sun was shining. We had to watch our back, man. People trying to kill us, rob us, loot us. That's the troublous times. Right? Quick precept. Let's go to Nehemiah 7 and 1. Actually, Jeremiah Salaki, you want to go to Nehemiah 2 and 1. You still gonna bring that out?
I can bring it out.
You got it, King. I go to I got one after you.
Book of Nehemiah, chapter 2, and verse 1. And it reads, and it came to pass in the month Nisan, in the 20th year of Artaxerxes the king, that wine was before him, and I took up the wine and gave it unto the king. Now I had not been before time sad in his presence. Wherefore the king said unto me, why is thy countenance sad, seeing thou art not sick? This is nothing else but sorrow of heart. Then I was very sore afraid, and said unto the king, let the king live forever. Why should not my countenance be sad when the city, the place of my father's sepulchres, lieth waste, and the gates thereof are consumed with fire? Then the king said unto me, for what doest thou make request? So I prayed to the God of heaven, and I said unto the king, if it please the king, and if thy servant have found favor in thy sight, that thou wouldest send me unto Judah, unto the city of my father's sepulchre, that I may build it. And the king said unto me, the queen also sitting by him, for how long shall thy journey be, and when shalt thou return? So it pleased the king to send me, and set him a time. Right. So the point is that Nehemiah went to the king Artaxerxes, and he was given a green light to go build up the city.
Con. And I want to make a quick point. It says in the 20th year of Artaxerxes the king. His 20th year is 445, 444 BC. That's his 20th year. All right, that's the time he was out there. Now, I want to compare that real quick. Let's go to Ezra 7:1. And you know that's Jake, man. He's saying that he mad at work. What you mad for? Then you might say something, y'all want to get fired. And then you just come out and say, hey, look, I'm in captivity. Now you know you fired. Once you say that, hey, I'm in slavery, my city destroyed, you know you fired. But the Lord kind of had mercy on Nehemiah and let the king say, hey, well, look, and just go back and build. We can't do that. Go to work, you're going to be pissed, and your boss say, why you all frowned up? Why do you always look angry? Tell him because you were an Israelite in slavery and see what happened. You know? You're not in that time of Nehemiah. Stop thinking you're Nehemiah, man. Well, I'm going to go to work tomorrow, I'm going to be upset, and I'm going to get all these privileges. You're not going to get no privileges, man. You're going to get that brown box. You know? Let's go to Ezra 7:1.
I was gonna say, and that's why he said, let the king live forever. I mean,
Right.
he kind of dressed it up before he kind of got into it.
Yeah, yep. Wise as a serpent. All right.
Ezra chapter 7, verse 1. Now after these things, in the reign of Artaxerxes, king of Persia, Ezra the son of Sariah, the son of Azariah, the son of Hilkiah, the son of Shallum, the son of Zadok, the son of Ahitub, the son of Amariah, the son of Azariah, the son of Merath, the son of Zeriah, the son of Uzai, the son of Bukai, the son of Abishu, the son of Phinehas, the son of Eleazar, the son of Aaron, the chief priest. This Ezra went up from Babylon, and he was ready to scribe. And he was a ready scribe in the law of Moses, which the Lord God of Israel had given. And the king granted him all his requests according to the hand of the Lord his God upon him.
So the Most High was merciful to Ezra, and he allowed him to go back and build. And Ezra had different offices. He was a scribe, a ready scribe, right? When he was responsible for translating the Torah and mass producing it in all different accounts. He was a scribe, he was a priest, and he was a prophet. So you got brothers that come to do the work, and the Most High gave them these different gifts to be able to do the work, right? Nehemiah wasn't a scribe, but he had his own gift. Every brother brings something to the table. Zechariah brought something to the table. Haggai brought something to the table. Ezra brought something to the table. He knew the law. Nehemiah had the leadership skills. Zechariah was the priest. Zerubbabel was the governor at the time. Every brother combined their talents to what? To build the temple. And that's what we're doing in the last days. We're doing the same thing. Jeremiah has gifts that I don't have. Yaradon has gifts that Ariah don't have. Ariah has gifts that Jeremiah don't have. And all of our brothers in this truth. But the Lord allowed us to come back and still build with these different gifts. But I want to get to the point. Let's read what verse you left off on. Let's read 7.
Verse. Okay. And there went up some of the children of Israel, and of the priests, and the Levites, and the singers, and the porters, and the Nethinims unto Jerusalem in the 7th year of Artaxerxes the king.
See that? In the 7th year of Artaxerxes the king. Nehemiah went in the 20th year. Ezra went in the 7th year. They didn't just go at the same time. You can't just read this and think it was a big march and everybody went back at the same time. Did we all come into the truth at the same time? No. It's every laborer that's hired in the vineyard. Do they all come in at the same time? No. Right? Certain men come in. Certain elders been in the truth since the 80s. Then other guys came in the 90s. Then other guys came in the 2000s. Then other guys came in, after 2010, and brothers coming in 2020, and we're still laboring in the same temple. And that's how it worked in the ancient world. You had men that were sent out in 538 BC. Then years later, men came almost 100 years later and 457 BC. Then men came in around 444 BC. And they all came with different talents to do the temple and build the work. It's the same thing going on in the last days. Exact same thing. Right? You had a point, Yaradan?
I was going to say, if I'm not mistaken, the scholars didn't say he came 58 years later.
Khan. That's right, man.
From that 7th year, the 7th year and the 20th year.
Right.
I think the exact order, the so-called circa, around 58 years.
Yeah, well, Ezra came in 457, which was the 7th year, and Nehemiah came in 455. Right, which was his 20th year. So from the 7th year to the 20th year is 13 years. Okay. That's why it's 57 minus 44, which is 13. So 457 to 444 to 445 BC, or is that a 13 span difference? So we can go back to Nehemiah one more time, 9 to 25.
Oh, Khan. Nehemiah chapter 9 verse 25. So I got my date mixed up. This Daniel chapter 9 verse 25. Know therefore and understand that from the going forth of the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem unto the Messiah, the Prince shall be 7 weeks.
It's like unto the Messiah, the Prince. Who is the Messiah, the Prince? Do we really have to go in depth in that? Who's the Prince? That's Hamashiach Yahushua. He's the Messiah. He is the Prince. A lot of brothers read that and they think it's talking about Cyrus. It's not talking about Cyrus. That's talking about Hamashiach Yahushua. He's the Messiah, the Prince. Right? Let's read on.
And 62 weeks, the street shall be built again, and the wall even in troublous times.
So you have 7 weeks and 62 weeks. Now a score biblically is 20. So if you have 3 score, 3 times 20 is 60. See that? So now you have 62 weeks, which would be 62 weeks. Plus another week, which would be what? 69. So if you have 69 weeks, we know that that's not literally 69 weeks. Right? Because you have, not even to take it there. I'm not going to take it there, but we know 69 times what? 7 is what? Brothers could do that math. Right? That's 483 years. So from the time of Nehemiah to the time roughly around the time of Yahushua is that 400 plus year period that we're reading about.
Salaki, brothers brought out 2nd Esdras 7.
I was just about to get it, but you got it, King.
Nah, you got it. Go ahead.
No, go ahead, do your thing.
Right? It's the book, the 2nd Esdras, chapter 7, right? And verse number 28. It said, for my son, Yahushua shall be revealed with those that be with him, and they shall remain and rejoice within 400 years. So like the brother said, it's a rough estimate time. And Ezra is the same as Esdras. You understand? One is in the Greek and one is in the Hebrew. They're the same person. And he's prophesying about this. Right? Everything could be found in the Bible. The times, the dates, literally where they were, these men, the empire. Everything is in the Bible. It said, and after these years, shall my son, Yahushua, die, and all men that have life. And the world shall be turned into the old silence 7 days, like as in the former judgments, so that no man shall remain. Right? So literally, that time period will be about 400, like the brother said, and 80, roughly 90. But Ezra's giving a rough estimate when you read the Apocrypha. It's not going to sit there and tell you the months, the days, the years. It's a prophecy and it's a rough estimate. Bro's got it. You on mute.
Like it the water. So from the time of the commandment to the time of the Messiah the Prince, right, is what? Around 483 years. That's 7 times 69. Right? Let's go on.
In Daniel,
Come, Daniel 9 and 26.
the book of Daniel, chapter 9, verse 26. Read it again. And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself, and the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with a flood, and unto the end of the war desolations are determined.
Let's read it again.
Verse 26. And after 62 weeks.
After 62 weeks. So these are your 62 weeks minus that 7. Right? Because we went into 69 weeks. So this is your 434 years. Right? Your 62 weeks. And that's simple math. You do 62 times 7. You can get, everybody knows you get 434. Right? So after 62 weeks, shall Messiah be cut off. And that's when Yahweh Shah was cut off. Right? He was crucified. Right? He was crucified anywhere between, scholars would say 27 AD. Some scholars would say 33 or 30 AD. Right? So that's the time of the Messiah being cut off. Right? And it says not for himself, because Yahweh Shah didn't die for himself. Right? Let's get that. Who did he die for? Let's go to Acts 5 and 31. Who was he cut off for? For the Israelites. All right, let's go to Acts 5 and 31.
The book of Acts, chapter 35, verse 1. That's like it. 5, verse 31.
Come.
And it reads, Him hath God exalted with his right hand to be a prince and a savior, for to give repentance to Israel and forgiveness of sins.
See that? So the Lord did what? The Lord allowed Israel to repent due to the offering and sacrifice of Yahweh Shah. So he was cut off, but for the children of Israel, that we can repent and come back to the Most High through faith and through grace. That's plain. Right? So he was cut off not for himself. Right? It reads, let's read on. And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall, it's like in the end thereof shall be with the flood, and until the end of the war, desolations are determined. So who are the people of the prince? Those are your Romans.
Right.
Those are the people of the prince. You have an earthly prince and you have a spiritual prince. Right? Your earthly leader at that time was Tiberius. Let's go to Luke 3 and 1. But the spiritual prince is dealing with the spiritual demon Satan. And he has a people on the earth, which are the Romans.
The book of Luke, chapter 3, verse 1. Now in the 15th year of the reign of Tiberius Caesar, Pontius Pilate being governor of Judea, and Herod being tetrarch of Galilee, and his brother Philip, tetrarch of Tyrcia, and the region of Trachonitis, and Licinius, the tetrarch of Abilene. Keep going. I think my thing froze.
All right, so the brother get back.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right, you got it.
Yeah, you can read it again.
Okay. Now in the 15th year of the reign of Tiberius Caesar, Pontius Pilate being governor of Judea, and Herod being tetrarch of Galilee, and his brother Philip, tetrarch of Itrucia, and of the region of Trachonitis, and Licinius, the tetrarch of Abilene.
Right. So like the brother said, like you got the two princes. You have the spiritual demon Satan and the prince that was ruling during the time in the Roman Empire. You can get the book of John, chapter 16 and verse 11, because it's on a physical level and also on a spiritual level.
John, you said again,
16 and 11.
it's John 16 and 11. And it reads, of judgment, because the prince of this world is judged.
Right. Now the prince of this world is the spiritual demon Satan. You have a prince over a dominion and a throne in a kingdom on a physical level. Then you will have a prince over the whole world. That's the spiritual demon Satan. So literally in Daniel, it's talking about Tiberius, you understand, and it's talking about the spiritual demon Satan. But chiefly as a whole, it's talking about the Romans that came in as that flood. Right? We can go back to Daniel. That's a brother got a point on precept.
I got a
Daniel
precept.
chapter 9,
I got a
26.
precept. Oh, you got it.
Oh, you
This,
got a word.
this is Ephesians chapter 2 and verse 1. And it reads, and you hath he quickened who were dead in trespasses and sins, wherein in time past ye walked according to the course of this world, according to the prince of the power of the air, the spirit that now worketh in the children of disobedience. So in the time past, brother, you should follow the course of this world according to the prince of the power, according to the spiritual demon Satan, right? According to them Esau. He was following after the ways of he was walking in darkness, following the ways of the prince, following the ways of Satan, man. You got it.
That's right. How did the prince come and destroy the city? Right, we know, man. Through desolations, man. He came from afar and destroyed it. We can get that in the book of Luke, right? Chapter 21. Right, we can start at this whole thing is crazy. We can start at 20.
Book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 20. And when ye shall see Jerusalem compassed with armies, then know that the desolation thereof is nigh.
Right, when it's something that's compassed, it's just like a flood. A flood compasses you. A flood destroys you. A flood comes in and knocks you down. Right, and we the bricks on a physical level, and a flood could come and decay that, man, and destroy the building. All throughout the Bible, man and nations, they're known as floods. You understand? The book of Psalms, chapter 18, verse 4, various other precepts, right? Revelations, chapter 17, verse 19, right? Various other precepts going into the flood is destroying man, right? Let me bring out a precept real fast on the floods. They're going to come in like a flood and destroy. That's nothing but the Romans, man, right? I'm going to bring out Isaiah chapter 40. Matter of fact, I'm gonna bring out Psalms chapter 18. Right? It's the book of Psalms chapter 18 and verse 4. The sorrows of death compassed me, and the floods of ungodly men made me afraid. So those floods is talking about men, you understand? And they come in and they destroy you. That's chiefly what a flood does. It compasses you round about, just like it says that the armies would be in Jerusalem, which was the Roman Empire.
I got a precept.
I got a precept after you.
Okay. I got this is another precept on the prince. This is Matthew chapter 12, verse 23. And it reads, and all the people were amazed and said, is not this the son of David? But when the Pharisees heard it, they said, this fellow doeth not cast out devils, but by Beelzebub, the prince of the devils. So they say Yahweh Shah had a demon. Right? He had a devil on that, the prince of the devils, man. That's how he was able to cast out demons. Right? And it's another precept on the flood, Isaiah 59 and verse 19. And it reads, so shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of the Lord shall lift up a standard against him. So when the enemy come past with his armies and come in like a flood, like a madman, hey, the Lord shall gonna step a standard against him. And that's how the Romans came like madmen. It came in like a flood, like that Russian flood.
It's Jeremiah 46 and 7. Who is this that cometh up as a flood, whose waters are moved as the rivers. Egypt riseth up like a flood, and his waters are moved like the rivers. And he said, I will go up and I will cover the earth. I will destroy the city and the inhabitants thereof. Slakia, come up, ye horses, and rage, ye chariots, and let the mighty men come forth, the Ethiopians and the Libyans, that handle the shield, and the Lydians, that handle and bend the bow. For this is the day of the Lord, of God of hosts, a day of vengeance, that he may avenge him of his adversaries, and the sword shall devour, and it shall be satiate and made drunk with their blood. For their Lord God of hosts hath a sacrifice in the north country by the river Euphrates. Just another precept showing that these the flood can be these nations, not a literal flood.
Let me bring out this other precept. Going into a prince, you understand, being a spiritual demon Satan again. Brother brought out Ephesians, right? We brought out John 16th chapter. It's also in Daniel chapter 10, right in verse 13. But the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days. Now we know this isn't a physical man, because when you read this chapter, literally Daniel's prayers are being hindered. And a mortal man can't hinder your prayers. They're trying to shoot up. He grabs hold of him. He binds him up and he throws him away. Can't nothing stop it but Yahweh Shem Yahushua. And whoever he ordains, you understand, be it the angels and the spirits and these elements that control things. Now, man doesn't know what's going on. Brothers could have been praying during his life, but nobody could perceive it. You understand? So this is deeper than a mortal man. The prince of the kingdom of Persia is the spiritual demon Satan that would withhold a prayer. You understand? And withstood you. It said, but the prince of the kingdom of Persia withstood me 21 days. So while Daniel was fasting, who had the spiritual demon Satan hindering his prayers. That goes into the just balance. You praying twice a day, you may only be praying once. You praying 10 times a day, maybe 5 prayers went up, if that. If you're found faithful enough for the Lord to hear you, right? It says, but lo, Michael, right, one of the chief princes, and Michael's an angel, came to help me, and I remained there with the kings of Persia. So that's another precept going into the prince, you understand, could be the spiritual demon Satan.
I got another one. This is John chapter 12 and verse 30. And it reads, Yahweh Shai answered and said, this voice came not because of me, but for your sakes. Now is the judgment of this world. Now shall the prince of this world be cast out. Right? Keep reading. It says, and I, if I be lifted up from the earth, will draw all men to me. Right? So through the spirit of Yahweh Shai, be casting the spiritual demon Satan out, man.
And like the brothers going into, man, a prince. The princes are son of a king. We know that the Most High, he's the king. And his sons are the princes. Aren't we the princes on the earth? Right? That's Yasha Allah, man. Right? We're the earthly princes, but you have celestial princes too, which the brothers are going into, are chief angels. Michael, he's one of the chief princes. He's one of the top sons of God. Satan is a top prince. And Yahweh Shah is even called a prince. You have Gabriel's a prince. Right? Asmodeus is a prince. Uriel is a prince. These are different top men of the Heavenly Father, or top spirits of the Heavenly Father, man. You know? So these are the people of the prince is dealing with what? The Edomites. Now, did a brother go to Luke 19?
Nah.
All right, let's go to Luke chapter 19. Let's read 42. Right? The people of the prince, like the brothers are going into, are the Romans, who came and destroyed Jerusalem, and what scholars call the Roman Jewish wars. Right? Let's get that in Luke chapter 19 and 42. We can start at 40. Right? I'll read it. Unless you're there, Yardan.
It's like I'm on mute. Luke 19 and 40. And he answered and said unto them, I tell you that if these should hold their peace, the stones would immediately cry out.
Right.
And when he was come near, he beheld the city and wept over it, saying, If thou hast known, even thou, at last this day, the thing which belonged unto thy peace, but now they are hid from thine eyes.
Yeah, so Yahweh Shah's weeping over Jerusalem, right? And they don't know why he's crying. He's telling them, hey, look, you don't even know what's coming to you, man. You have no idea what's about to come. And that's similar to when you read about the Elisha. When Elisha saw, I believe, Hazael, he started crying, man. And the man said, and that's in 2 Kings. And the man started, well, why are you crying? He said, because I know what you're going to do to Jerusalem. You're going to rip up the woman with child. You're going to kill the men. You're going to burn it with fire, paraphrasing. Right? And he started crying because he knew what would happen to the people. Sometimes brothers do that in this thing, man. You know, you worrying about what's going to happen. You're thinking about all the destruction. Hey, Jeremiah started weeping. A lot of brothers don't cry. That's soft. Where is that at in the Bible, man? I mean, you calling Yahweh Shah soft. Hey, Jeremiah said, oh, that my head were a fountain of tears, that I might weep day and night. So a mighty man, hey, guess what? He'll cry because he's mighty in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. And he understands oppression. And Yahweh Shah knew about oppression. That's why he's crying about what the white man would do to his people. You had a point, Jeremiah?
Con, I just had another example in the scriptures. This is going to Jeremiah 13 and 17. And it reads, but if you will not hear it, I'll start at 16. Jeremiah 13 and 16. It says, give glory to the Lord your God before he cause darkness and before your feet stumble upon the dark mountains. And while you look for light, he turn it into a shadow of death and make it gross darkness. But if you will not hear it, my soul shall weep in secret places for your pride, and mine eyes shall weep sore and run down with tears, because the Lord's flock is carried away captive. So Jeremiah is telling them, y'all don't hearken, y'all don't listen to the voice of the Lord. I'm gonna cry like a baby when I see y'all going into captivity, man. I'm gonna have to shed tears for my people and send y'all to go through what y'all gonna go through.
Yeah, like I always say, man, when we teach up at Penn North, that's one of the worst places. And we done taught in many cities in Babylon. That's the worst place to teach in. Because you get there, you get mad, and then it's a mix of emotions. Then you might get sad, you might put your head down. You might want to cry. Then you might see something, then you kind of laugh. And you can see anything at Penn North, man. Orion know about it. We saw dudes on horseback out of nowhere, riding a horse.
Yeah.
Then you might see a woman with one leg. Then you might see a fight. You got it, King.
Yeah, I was about to say, the brothers was bringing it on mightily, and me and Aquan went to go pass off some flyers. We was on the, you know what I'm saying, doing our thing, and you had this Edomite walk up saying, "How you doing, daddies? What's going on, daddies?" Yep. You got damn needles on the floor, horny Edomites, men on horseback, right? You got damn like brothers damn linked over like zombies, man. Right? You got people doing drugs right in front of your face. Right? You teaching them the words of the Lord, they going like this. Just beaming up right in front of your face, man. Right? You had it's all type of whores, junkies. That's one of the worst places in Babylon, man. It has to be. And the police be right. They be smoking weed right in front of the police, shooting dope in their arm right in front of the damn police officers. Police officers don't do nothing because they know the place too far gone, man. You hear gunshots, people riding willies. It's like the police scared to be out there. That place so bad, the police, they get in the car, man, when they get too rough.
Right. Look at this. Now, I'm going to show you this. This is what you see at damn Penn North, man. God damn. This is in the middle of the hood. A brother got a horse in the hood. Look at him. Only in Baltimore, man. Only in Baltimore, you could be damn seeing somebody shoot up dope and one man riding the damn horse he done got from Lord knows what. There's somebody damn pissing on the ground and damn haircuts in the middle of the street. Street over.
Yeah.
Falling asleep. I hate Baltimore, man.
Yeah.
I always say I think the Lord got us in Baltimore for a reason, because Baltimore is evil, man. A damn 1,000 people hurt. We teaching. Remember that time the damn people stormed the they popped the corner, like 30 people. You know, it's madness, man. But hey, that'll make a brother want to cry, man. Hey, we might laugh sometimes. We look, but then you kind of go home and you kind of think about it, man. That our people are destroyed. We're done. Oh, you got a yard down.
I got a precept in Psalm 69 and 1. To the chief musicians upon Shoshanan, a psalm of David. Save me, O God, for the waters are come in into my soul. We jump down to 3. I am weary of my crying. My throat is dried. Mine eyes did fail when I wait for my God. So if Jake's saying you soft for crying, go read this verse. You might as well tell David he's soft. And you wouldn't do that. You wouldn't dare do it.
That's right. So yeah, the point is Yahweh Shai wept, right? So we can read on, right? In Luke chapter 19. Right, let's read 19 and 43. Let's see why he was weeping.
Luke chapter 19, verse 43. For the days shall come upon thee, that thine enemies shall cast a trench about thee, and compass thee round, and keep thee on every side.
The Lord is telling, the Lord is telling the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American man that the white man is your enemy, and they're going to come and surround you as the Romans and destroy your city and cast you down. That's battle formation. Cast a trench about thee and compass thee round about. Meaning, what the Romans would do is you'll have your city. Let's say you're in your house right now. They'll build a wall outside of your house, so you can't leave. You can leave your house, but you can't go too far. You can't go past that wall. So now you got to starve. You can't go get food. You can't get nothing to drink. You just in your house, so you run out of resources. And then you just starve to death. So you either surrender or they'll wait a few weeks. They out there eating good, and they look, okay, they got to be dead by now. Let's go kill them. That's what they did to Jerusalem, huh? They built a trench and a wall about Jerusalem and laid siege to it. And they have beautiful documentaries on it, man. You know, that go into the details on Kings and Generals and Invictus, these different YouTube sites. They go into the detail, the battle formation, what happened here. The first wall got taken down. Then the second wall got taken down. Right? Let's read about that in Deuteronomy 28 and 49. That's part of the curses. Right? About them laying siege. Let's go to Deuteronomy 28 and 49.
The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 49. And it reads, the Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle fleeth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
Yeah, that's going into the so-called white man. It's not just talking about the Spaniards in America. That's talking also about the Romans. Came from Rome to what? To Jerusalem. Let's go on. As swift as the eagle flieth, that's the national symbol of the Roman Empire, the Roman standard. Go on.
A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor shew favor to the young.
Right.
And he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land, until thou be destroyed. Which also shall not leave thee either corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thy kind, or flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee.
Right. They starved this out. Go on.
Verse 52. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates, until thy high and fenced walls come down, wherein thou trustest throughout all thy land. And he shall besiege thee in all thy gates, throughout all thy land, which the Lord thy God hath given thee.
Go on.
Verse 53. And thou shalt eat the fruit of thine own body, the flesh of thy sons and of thy daughters, which the Lord thy God hath given thee, in the siege and in the straitness, wherewith thine enemies shall distress thee.
See, it got so bad in that Roman siege, we had to eat the fruit of our body. We had to, man. Because when you go into that history, they didn't have nothing to eat. We ate the food, and then we had to eat the holy things. You had people eating first fruits, people eating all of the first of the flock that's supposed to be for the Lord. When you go into those accounts, it got so bad, people were eating the leaves off the tree, the grass, the girdles. They started eating their own girdles. Then we had to eat our own sons and our own daughters. Right? Go on.
Verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye should be evil toward his brother.
And this is an everlasting curse. You understand? But it's going really into what happened in Rome. His eyes shall be evil toward his brother. Now, during the Roman siege, you had different Israelites fighting amongst Israelites, man. You had different political groups fighting amongst each other. You had Sakari. You had the what's the other ones? The Zealots. You had the Sadducees, the Pharisees. You had the people that believed in the Lord. You had all these people, all these different damn political groups, for lack of better terms, fighting amongst each other. Some even killing one another. So our eye was evil towards our brother, man. That's why it was easy for the Romans to come down and destroy us, because you had these different groups fighting amongst each other. You know, go on.
So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye should be evil toward his brother, and toward the wife of his bosom, and toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
And he kind of left some of the ones they didn't eat, and they felt guilty about it, had their head down. They said, I can't live like this. And he left them. Go on.
So that he will not give to any of them the flesh of his children, whom he shall eat, because he hath nothing left him in the siege, and in the straitness wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee, and in all thy gates.
And Jake, you've never been out hungry. You've never been out hungry. You haven't. You got, brother, I can't fast for one day. How long is the Day of Atonement? When is it going to be over? Do I really have to keep it this year? I had someone told me they'll die. They told me I will die if I keep the Day of Atonement. Now, I don't know if they're going to keep it or not, but they said they're going to die. So I don't know what's going to happen. But the point is, hey, we were starving so bad, the Lord put it in the spirit to eat your son.
Probably crying while eating them too.
Yeah,
sorry, baby. Putting salt on his legs, talking about I'm sorry.
Madness, man. Let's read on.
Verse 56. The tender and delicate woman among you, which would not adventure to set the sole of her foot upon the ground, for delicateness and tenderness, her eye shall be evil toward her husband, of her bosom, and toward her son, and toward her daughter, and toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward her children, and toward her children which she shall bear, for she shall eat them for one of all. She shall eat them for one of all things secretly in the siege and straitness, wherewith thine enemy shall distress thee in thy gates.
So she was eating them secretly, man. Peeled off with the baby and the father. Where the son at? Come on, we can make it. We can go. And she, I don't know. I don't know what happened to him. Where is he? She ate him. She cooked them and she ate them because she wanted to live another day. Right? This is what we're reading about the flood in the book of Daniel, the 9th chapter. About the enemy coming in and besieging Jerusalem, huh? Let's go. The brothers go to Luke 21 already. You on mute, King.
Salaki. I was touching on it, but we only read 21 and 20. The first verse of it.
God, if brothers want to go back, we could read that. We could read through like 24 or wherever brothers want to read to. Right, so that and that's one of the worst accounts of our history, man. Between 70 AD and the transatlantic slave trade, and those are one of the or two of the top or worst accounts of our history. Now, I want to pull this up. I went into this the other day. Now, this is the Judea captive coinage. So what the Romans did when they destroyed Jerusalem is they made a coin to commemorate it. That's how you know that this is America all over again. They destroyed Jerusalem and they put the old nasty white man like George Washington, right? But that's Vespasian. And look on the back of the coin. If you look carefully on the back of the coin, it says Judah capta, which means Judah has been captured. And they made a coin off of it. See that? Judea capta. And it's an Eve with her head down, a palm tree from Jerusalem, and an old nasty white man on the front and on the back. So the so-called white man hates you, man. He made a coin about the destruction of our people. And look at this one. They got one where they had a guy beating up the Eve. You know? This happened in 70 AD. Unbelievable.
I got a picture.
Come.
This is the book I usually bring out, The Illustrated Atlas of Jerusalem. Not only does it show you their formation, the siege of Titus in 70 AD, it goes into all the ways that they kind of, took down Jerusalem. We're not looking at this kind of nodding our head saying that's cool, but we're looking at it because this is our history, all right? And your history, they're going to consist of some bad times. No nation's history is all perfect and sunshine and pretty, right? So anyway, this is the image right there. Brothers can see it.
See that? And that says, what does that say? Vespasian on it. At the top, it says Vespasian.
You got Eve kind of sitting down. And it say, I ain't gonna do it, but I'll read it.
Come.
It say, Judea captive, engraved on a gold minted in Rome in honor of the Roman victory over Judea. On the face of this coin is the bust of the Roman Emperor Vespasian, and on its obverse is Judea sitting in mourning beside a plundered statue, underneath which is Latin inscription Judea.
See that? And I'm led to believe, I know those coins are still around. Somebody has those coins.
Esau.
Some old nasty Edomite opens up those coins every time you harvest in somebody's organ, and then he look at it and he flip it
and kiss it
and probably does a sacrifice to it. Somebody has those coins. Our menorah, right? Yardan, in that book, did they give you the relief of the menorah of the Edomites with the menorah? They just stole the damn menorah. So these Edomites, they done stole everything, man. And now, Jake, you think you got it made because you in your house. You don't have nothing, man. We used to have gold, menorah, all of that, man. And these devils done stole every ounce of it. Every ounce. And if you can't find the yard, then I'll pull it up. Right? Let me pull this up real quick. Right? I'll just type it in. For sake of time, I'm doing it like this. I could show it. But Salaki, bear with me. Now check this out. This is the Romans coming and taking away the menorah. Look at this. Can brother see that? See that? They took away the menorah, man. They stole all of those things. And they still got it. You can't get it from the Smithsonian Museum. It's not a your African American museum in the hood. They got it in some underground secret vault. And we're going to get it back. When we take the nation down and put them in slavery, we're going to get our gold back. We're going to get all of the wealth back. That's Zechariah 14:14. That the wealth is going to be gathered back, man. You know? You on mute. You on mute, King.
And I got a precept on that too. Like the brother said, we're gonna get all of that back, man. Right? It's the book of Job, chapter 20, right? And verse, I'm gonna start at 14. Job 20 and 14. Yet his meat and his bowels is turned. It is the gall of sap within him. He hath swallowed down riches, and he shall vomit them up again. God shall cast them out of his belly. So we swallowed down all of the riches of the earth, man. And truthfully, the riches aren't just this paper money, man, and these buildings, man. It's everything that was in our temple, man. Those are true riches. Children of Israel, the slaves, you understand, the menorahs, right? All of our cheap things that was in our temple. Where's Solomon's gold at, man? Where the shields that David fought with, and the swords, and the helmets, and the breastplates, man? Where are all of these things at, man? Esau got them somewhere in a damn dungeon or a cave or somewhere where man can't find it, man. Like the brother says, it's not going to be at your local museum, man. These things are ancient that they have tucked away somewhere. And the Lord said they're going to give them all back, man. So everything that they ever stole, robbed from us, spoiled, manipulated, they're going to have to give it all back, man, sevenfold. And that's going to vomit them up again. It said, he shall suck the poison of ass, and the viper's tongue shall slay him, man. So his fate is inevitable. We was talking about this earlier with one of the brothers, man. Right? Brother Malachi, man. He's like, man, what's the point, man? Like Esau going into slavery. You can't damn try to pay us. You can't bow down 7 times over, right? You can't loosen this damn shackle, man. You're going into captivity, right? All the riches is coming back, right? Everything you stole is coming back sevenfold, man. You got it.
And let me show this. Just another monument they set up. The nasty, creepy devil, so-called white man. All right. A lot of people who say the white man isn't the devil, you don't know the white man. You don't know Esau. He can't be the devil. That's because you don't know him. Right? Archetypus. This is an actual monument built. Right? The Archetypus showing the spoils of Jerusalem. Relief on the inside of the ark. Right? So this is a monument built. Right? It's pretty much a trophy for the so-called white man and Romans, the Edomites, killing the Israelites. So the Archetypus is a 1st century AD honorific arch located on the Via Sacra Rome, just to the southeast of the Roman Forum. It was constructed in 81 AD by the Emperor Domitian, shortly after the death of his older brother Titus, to commemorate Titus' official deification. So they made him a god. Or consecratio, and the victory of Titus. See, after he defeated God's people, the white man said he is God. See that? Together with their father Vespasian over the Jewish rebellion in Judea. And that's what the so-called white man would call it. He's going to call it a rebellion. Right? To justify it. How do you have a people in slavery? This is madness, man. Right? But it reads, we call it the murder in 70 AD. He want to call it a rebellion. The art contains panels depicting the triumphal procession celebrated in 71 AD after the Roman victory, culminating the fall of Jerusalem. It provides one of the few contemporary depictions of artifacts of Herod's temple. It became a symbol of the Jewish diaspora, and the menorah depicted on the arch served as a model for the menorah used as the emblem of the state of Israel. See that? And this still lives on to this day, and you can't touch it. You can't damn piss on it. You can't leave trash by it, and they'll kill you, man. These Edomites will kill you if you try to mess up this idol they got right here, man. I'm led to believe Edomites travel to this every year, right? The top elites, and they drink baby blood by it, man, and laugh at the downfall of our fathers. See that? But these devils got a lot to pay for, man. You had some up.
So I was going to say do cold cuts on the left-hand side.
Yup. So hey, guess what? Their days are coming, man. And Jake, you're not going to be. You may be mad now, but that's what the Lord said. He's going to put His anger in you, because your anger is not the Most High's anger. The Lord is
Right.
going to put the Spirit in you. We don't know how we're going to behave. We don't know what we're going to do. We don't know how we're going to react. Hey, we're going to be like the Lord said. We're going to be we're going to run like to and fro like sparks amongst the stubble. In Wisdom of Solomon, the 3rd chapter, we're going to be moving like lightning. Hey, it's going to be crazy in those days, man.
And a quick point, right? It was a good point the brother made, because hey, the Lord going to put His anger on us. And brothers already want to destroy the so-called white man.
Right.
Brothers already zealous. Brothers already amped up. Like brothers already is waiting for the decree, man. You understand? Brothers already, Lord willing, is numbered in that army, man, and ready to go to war. So how much more in that day when you had the Spirit of Yahweh on you, man? And Jake, all you know is the little bit of history you know. You watched the documentaries. You heard the stories that your uncles and your fathers told. You don't know half the things these damn demons did, man. You don't know half the things they did, man. They probably castrated us, damn tied it around, put it on their neck. They sick, man. Took our foremothers, our forefathers, and chopped them in pieces. You watch Django, they hanged them upside down. They's ready to cut them off, man. Right? No, the scene kind of stopped. It didn't happen. But what if that really did happen?
Right.
I mean, you had to watch it. And what did he do with it, man? Right? Hey, you don't know half the things these damn demons did, man. Once you really know the history, and the Lord gonna put all of that knowledge in you, man. I don't think the Lord just gonna have you just not knowing anything. Once we get the decree in the second wilderness, Lord willing, that's everybody watching us that's keeping the commandments sincerely. We're gonna have the knowledge, the understanding. We're gonna know the history. A lot of brothers may be new to the secret councils that they did during the time of Nehemiah, and that made you more mad. That's what the Lord says, surely oppression make up a wise man mad. Because the more you know, the more you be angry, man. The more plots, counsels, wicked lies, the more things you know about the society, the TV, the social media, everything, Planned Parenthoods. Once you know how this world was designed to literally have the downfall of us, our forefathers, our babies, our little brothers, our physical brothers, then you would be pissed off and zealous, man. But how much more when it's the zeal of the Lord?
Yeah, I wanted to add to that, man. I want to get this precept first. This Psalms chapter 110 and verse 2. Right? Psalms 110 and 2. The Lord shall send the rod of thy strength out of Zion. Rule thou in the midst of thine enemies. Thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power. And the beauties of holiness from the womb of the morning, thou hast the dew of thy youth. So the Lord said, thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power. Meaning, when the day of the Lord's power is when He's taking the nations down. The Lord said the elect are going to be willing to get down. Right now, Jake, you don't want to get down. I'm scared. What if they have missiles and guns? They're really not that bad. The Lord said, thy people, you got to think about that, man. They're going to be willing in the day of His power. Isaiah says, send me. Here I am, man. That's how Isaiah was, man. The Lord said, who shall go for this people in Isaiah the 6th chapter? Right? Who shall tell them? Isaiah, pick me, man. Send me out there. I want to do the work. That's how we going to be in those days, man. Who wants to take down the Moabites? Hey, pick me. I want to go down there. And the Lord wants, thou shalt do so, and thou shalt prevail. Kill everything that breatheth. See that? And you're going to have that power in those days, man. And that's not a myth. We're not making that up. That's literal in the Bible.
Right.
You got it.
Calm. Like the brother said, like David was, man, where all the men were afraid and David kind of pushed everybody out the way to get to the front, man. Let me bring that up. That's how zealous you're going to be in that day, man, to do the work of the Lord, right? It's the book of 1 Samuel, chapter 17, and verse 32, right? And it reads, and David said to Saul, let no man's heart fail because of them. Thy servant will go and fight with the Philistine. And Saul said to David, thou art not able, Salakia, thou art not able to go against this Philistine to fight with him, for thou art but a youth, and he a man of war from his youth. So David didn't care how tall he was, how much he weighed, his status, his fightings with his wins and his losses. All he cared about is being zealous for the Lord, man. It says what? And David said as a Saul, thy servant kept his father's sheep, and there came a lion and a bear and took a lamb out of the flock. And I went out after him and smote him and delivered it out of his mouth. And when he arose against me, I caught him by his beard and smote him and slew him. Thy servant slew both the lion and the bear, and this uncircumcised Philistine shall be as one of them, seeing he has defiled the armies of the living God. Now, who defiled us, man? So-called white man. And you're going to be as zealous as that day as a warrior to go fight as David was, man. David didn't care how small he was. That's why the Lord say, literally in Zechariah, let me get this real fast. The feeble among them going to be like King David in that day, right? Because how was King David acting? He was a warrior, he was strong, and he wasn't afraid, right? It's not just talking about you're going to be King David's height, and you're going to be his width, right? You're going to have his bravery, his strength. You're going to have his mind to go to war and not fear. You're going to have all of those things, man, right? Let me get this real fast, right? It's Zechariah chapter 12, right? And verse number 8. In that day shall the Lord defend the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and he that is feeble among them at that day shall be as David, and the house of David shall be as God, and as the angel of the Lord before him. When it says he shall be as God and the angel of the Lord before them, meaning you can't die. You can't get thrust through. You're not going to be injured. You're not going to be like this in war. Then one of the other elect going to have to bury you on his shoulders. Now he's fighting. It's not going to happen like that, man. You can't twist the angel's neck. Ain't nothing happening to the angels. They're going to live forever, man. The Lord's going to live forever. So in that day, when you get that decree, you understand you got the spirit, you got spiritual powers. You're going to be zealous, on fire. You're going to be ready to go to war, and ain't nothing happen to you.
Let me get this real quick in Wisdom of Solomon. Right? This wisdom, and that's the day we looking forward to, man. Right? That's now Esau bowed down. It become nonchalant now. It's like, all right, you bow down. All right. I mean, the first time he's like, all right, but now the second time he's like, all right, come on now, just get it over with, man.
Right.
That's how it's getting nowadays, man. Because we so close to the end. Yeah. Damn, kick Esau in the damn face, man.
Right. Yeah.
You know, he kind of bowed down, like, all right, whatever, get up. You know, but now, you know, we get to the point where the days are coming where that doesn't satisfy the men of the Lord.
Right.
That's not enough. We want more. Right. We want more. Right? We want Esau to roll up in them rusty, nasty chains with his head down and don't move. We want bloodshed. We want vengeance. And that's what they call hate speech, right? This Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5 and verse, I'm going to start at 17. He shall take to him his jealousy for complete armor, and make the creature his weapon for the revenge of his enemies. So the Lord is going to, we're the creature. The Most High is the creator. He's going to use us for vengeance. It's like he shall take holiness for an invincible shield. Like the brother said, we're going to be invincible through the holiness of the Most High. Right? And it said you're going to live forever, man. You're going to be invincible. His severe wrath shall he sharpen for a sword, and the world shall fight with him against the unwise. So how does God so love the world when the whole world, or when the world is going to fight against the unwise? Who's the world? The world of the elect. Who's the unwise? The other nations. Right? It reads, then shall the right aiming thunderbolts go abroad, and from the clouds, as from a well-drawn bow, shall they fly to the mark. And hailstones full of wrath shall be cast out. It's like it shall be cast as out of a stone bow, and the water of the sea shall rage against them, and the flood shall clearly drown them. Yea, a mighty wind shall stand up against them, and like a storm shall blow them away. Thus iniquity shall lay waste the whole earth, and ill dealing shall overthrow the thrones of the mighty. And hey, that verse is a mighty verse right there, man. The Lord said, ill dealing shall overthrow the thrones of the mighty. So all you top rulers, you're going to be cast down because of your sins. and what you have done to the Lord's people. Those are the ill dealings. Like the brother said, they ate Nat Turner alive, man. They hung him, then they skinned him alive, then they ate him, then they turned him to grease, then they cut his knuckles off, and then they made leather bags out of him, man. Nobody truly knows what this devil really did, man. Nobody knows, like the brother said. They could have did, they could have did anything, man. Made you eat your son in front of him, made you fight your son. You know how they got Mandingo? You gotta fight your damn wife to death. You gotta beat your wife up to death and your son. Stop thinking it was just one big guy gets another big guy. Could have been your wife and your son and your daughter, and you gotta fight. They might have gave one person a weapon, but you gotta think about: do you want to die or do you want to live? So these devils, they done all types of stuff, man. They got a wicked, evil mind.
Come on, and I'm led to believe that they took some of our forefathers' bones and they still have them, man.
Yep.
Right? Not just the armor and all of that. Like when they this is proof right here. This is right. Right? Let me bring this up. Because like you really don't know what they did, man. Right? It's the book of 1 Samuel chapter 31 and verse, right? I'm gonna start at 38. And it reads, Salaki, 1 Samuel 31 and 8. And it came to pass on the morrow when the Philistines came to strip the slain, that they found Saul and his 3 sons fallen in Mount Gilboa. And they cut off his head and stripped off his armor and sent it into the land of the Philistines round about to publish it in the house of their idols, man. Imagine taking a damn head, taking it back to where you from. It's bleeding, right? It's gush everywhere. They taking the head and he raising it up. Everybody going crazy. Take it back to their temple and they hang it up in their temple next to the rest of their idols. What if that was your father? Your damn father's head, your physical father. Your father's head. They got your father's head somewhere, man. They got your damn great uncle's leg somewhere, man. Right? It says what? Land of the Salakia, and sent it into the land of the Philistines, round about to publish it in the house of their idols and among the people. And they put his armor in the house of Ashtaroth, and they fastened his body to the wall of Beth Shemesh, man. So if they did that, how many other men do they have? How many other bones and heads, right, body parts do they have, man? It's in the Bible, and this is recorded. So think of everything that's not recorded, man. Think of every damn, you got the 60s, you got the 40s, you got the 1700s, you got the 1400s, right? You got all the way 2,000 years ago, 70 AD. You got the Greek Empire, 338. You got all of these different things, these different empires with all these different heathens, these Edomites, and all the things that they did. They stripped us, they slain us, dashed our babies' heads against the walls. And that's in the scriptures, man. So all the accounts we don't know, we're going to be so mad and zealous to destroy them, man. This is just bigger than you being oppressed at your job, man. This is just bigger than him saying, you know what? I'm a Jew, you damn nigger. And then he walks away, man. Then you mad about that. You got literally counts and accounts and accounts of this man proving that he's the damn devil that the Bible speaks of.
God, I want to get this quick precept, right? This is the book of Judges, chapter 16 and verse 21. But the Philistines took him and put out his eyes and brought him down to Gaza and bound him with fetters of brass, and he did grind in a prison house. Right now, I'm going to jump down to verse 25. And it came to pass when their hearts were merry, they said, call for Samson that he may make us sport. Many dance for us. They drunk. They then got him in chains. This is Israel, man, in slavery. Call for him. Let us tell him to dance. Sing us. Sing us one of those songs, man. His damn eyes bleeding. You understand? Gushing out. He can't see. He's screaming for pain. And the damn Philistines drinking drunk, kind of pointing, laughing, man. Saying, dance for us, boy. Right? That's what happened to us, man. Back then. probably damn throwing bows and arrows on them, and they kind of bound them. Hey man, your eyes being plucked out alive. You gotta imagine the blood and the pain. Damn, your face numb, swolled up. Damn brain, damn migraine, sharp pains, and a light sensitive, and the damn bright light of the Philistine of the damn sun out there. You gotta kind of envision that thing, man. And they said, call that Israelite and tell them to make us place Salaki. What does it say?
Like
It reads, yeah, he made them sport and they set them between the pillars. See that?
I got another one. Like Job chapter 16 and verse 9. He teareth me in his wrath, who hateth me, he gasheth upon me with his teeth. That's how you know he a beast, man. We just the damn hopeless sheep. And he's the damn beast and ripping us. It says he damn it says, who hateth me, he gashing upon me with his teeth. Mine enemy sharpeneth his eyes upon me. They have kept upon me with their mouth. They have smitten me upon my cheek reproachfully, man. And that's what they do. They beat us in the face. We're swollen. Like Emmett Till, man. Right? When I read this, I'm thinking about Emmett Till. They beat him on the cheek reproachfully, man. Over and over. They beat him so bad, his damn parents couldn't even perceive that it was him. Imagine getting beat so bad, nobody can tell, right, who you are. They have to get the damn forensics, have to take your teeth, your fingerprints, right? They have to discover that it's you by many different ways, man. It said, they have smitten me upon my cheek reproachfully. They have gathered themselves together against me. God have delivered me to the ungodly and turned me over to the hands of the wicked. I was at ease. It said I was at ease. See, look at that. You can't make this up, right? That don't even look real, man. Imagine how bad they had to beat him for his face to swell like that, man. Right? It says, I was at ease. What does it mean I was at ease? I mean, I was in my homeland. I was minding my business. I was keeping the feast. I was joy and with my my Israelites, man. The kids was running around, right? We were growing the vineyards. So I was at ease, but he have broken me asunder. He put me in slavery, chains, violence. He have also taken me by my neck and shaking me to pieces and set me up for his mark. And that's what he do, man. He grab you, he shake you to pieces, and he set you up for his mark.
I got a precept. This is 2 Ezra chapter 3, verse 1. In the 13th year after the ruin of the city, I was in Babylon and lay troubled upon my bed, and my thoughts came upon over my heart. For I saw the desolation of Zion and the wealth of them that dwelt at Babylon. That's how we are every day in this thing. We wake up. We don't wake up and say, I can't wait to start this day with a smile on our face. You know, we're not waking up like the so-called white man and his kids. They wake up, they pour their cereal, they catch the bus, you know, they go to school, and, you know, they look at their crush.
So, hey man, you see them commercials? They got the damn pancakes, the big blueberry muffin, like part of your balanced breakfast. You watching the damn thing? You don't eat that for breakfast. They got the muffins, they got the pancakes and the waffles, and you looking at the commercial. That's how they eat, man. Like Yaradan said, they're not in trouble like other men. Salakia King.
Damn. They never eat it all. Like they throw it all away, and they have the Iskarite meat throw it all away, and then the kids go to school. They pass notes to their crush. Their life isn't like ours in any way. So again, the same way Ezra woke up every morning, that's how we wake up. We wake up sick to our stomach. Again, I'm gonna read it again. For I saw the desolation of Zion and the wealth of them that dwelt at Babylon. And my people, it's like in my spirit was sore moved, so that I began to speak words full of fear to the Most High. And said, that's all I wanted.
Come. So, you know, these are and our people are destroyed, man. You had a damn rapper who made a song about Emmett Till, man. Who used Emmett Till in one of his lyrics. You know, we're not going to put it out there, but our people are so destroyed, man. You know, we got to get out of this captivity, man. You know, and only the Lord. Let me get this in Isaiah chapter 60. Let me get this real quick, right? Let's go to Isaiah chapter 63. All right, let's get this real quick. Right, this Isaiah chapter 63 and verse 4. For the day of vengeance is in mine heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. And I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to uphold. Therefore mine own arm brought salvation unto me, and my fury it upheld me. Imagine that your fury is what's keeping you going, and that's what's driving you. That's what drove Yahushua to destroy the so-called white man. When you read Isaiah chapter 63, he was driven and upheld and strengthened by fury, right? And that's how we feel, man. That's what keep us going, man. Being the Lord's Ecclesiastes 1:18, it says, "He that increaseth in knowledge increaseth in sorrow." Right? The Lord said there is a wisdom that maketh you bitter, paraphrasing. See that? So Yahushua, he looked at the oppression and the fury, it upheld him, man. That's what those were what he stood upon and drove him to deliver his people. You see that? And Jake, you're not mad enough. Black Lives Matter, you're not mad enough. What else they got? The NAACP, you're not mad enough. The damn not effing around crew, you're not mad enough.
Right.
The New Black Panthers Party, the Nation of Islam, the 5%ers, the More Science Temple of America, y'all not mad enough, man. Because y'all don't even know what's going on. You have no idea what's going on. A lot of you accept the Edomites. A lot of you pick up Hamite philosophies and doctrines, and the Hamites are your enemy.
Right.
So a lot of y'all don't know what's going on. If you're not in this truth, you have no idea what's going on.
Yeah.
And also, Jake, that like to say stay woke all the time, man. When you the main one sleep, you the main one sleep talking about stay woke, man. Ain't no stay woke. It's either you're alive or you're dead, according to the Bible. You understand? The Lord's breath is a quickening spirit, and either you know these commandments, the understanding and the doctrine, or you're dead, man. You got it, y'all done.
I was gonna say no.
Okay, come.
Now, the brother, see what I sent y'all on the not on.
Hey, Lil Wayne got a lot of blood on his hands. If you don't,
Yeah, I want to talk about that, but it was something else.
Yeah, I saw it.
Okay, con. Yeah, but like Yaradon said, yeah, that man is off, man. So what we'll have to do is, for sake of time, let's read Daniel 9:26 again.
Oh, kind of see.
Right.
Daniel chapter 9, verse 26. And it reads, "And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself. And the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary, and the end thereof shall be with the flood. And unto the end of the war, desolations are determined."
So that's dealing with 70 AD. Now let's read on.
Verse 27, "And he shall confirm the covenant with many for 1 week. And in the midst of this week, he shall cause the sacrifice and the oblation to cease. And for the overspreading of abominations, he shall make it desolate, even unto the consummation, and the determined shall be poured upon the desolate."
Salakia. So what we're going to do is we're not going to have time to finish this last verse tonight. So this last verse, it'll get a little bit deeper. We have to go to Daniel, the 12th chapter, Revelation. We have to go deep into it. And we don't want to just wing it and just run through it. We don't want to do our brothers a disservice. We want to take our time. We want to go through the history. We want to pull up the accounts. And we don't want to rush through Daniel 9 and 27. So what we're going to do is we're going to close up right here. We're going to bring out our closing precepts, and then we're going to continue where we left off. And that's the in-depth breakdown within itself, man. Right? So we're going to go into Daniel 9 and 27 and finish the last week, Most High willing, next week. That's what we'll have to do. So Salakia for that, Israel, we wasn't able to go. We went through the 69 weeks, but we have one more week. Now you got brothers saying this week happened already. You got brothers saying it's going to happen when the rapture. Then the other half of the week is going to happen once 144,000 get beamed up. And other brothers saying it's, pre-tribulation, post-tribulation, 1,000. We're going to cover it all. We're going to cover everything in that the last week. You got a lot of professors, biblical eschatologists, people of renown who go to Daniel 9 and 27 and they break it down completely wrong. So we're going to open up the books. Most High willing, if we're still here, we're going to dive into it. We're going to uncover the secrets of Yahweh Bashar with Shine in the last days.
All right, I'm gonna bring out my closing precept. Right, like the brother said, man, you don't want to rush nothing, because one literally precept could be spurred off into a 35-40 minute breakdown. Why? Because the Lord said, through thy precepts I get understanding. Therefore I hate every false way. See, we have to in-depthly break something down. You can't go to just one. Hey, the Lord said out of the mouth for 2 or 3 witnesses. Jeremiah could be a witness. Ezekiel could be a witness. The more witness, the better. You understand? So we don't want to just go to one precept, his precept. No, we want all the precepts. We want, brothers should have a note, pen, and pad, right? You should have your highlighters, your pens, right? Notebooks, right? All of these things, man, right? 2, 3 Bibles, right? You got to kind of get into this thing, man, right? So literally, the brothers, to break it down more in-depthly and not to rush through anything like the brother said, and you got to do it that way. And that would be more in order and given the sense, like Nehemiah, like Ezra said, man, you got to give the sense. You can't rush anything. It's not going to be plain upon tables. This is dealing with prophecy, right? It's the book of Revelation, right? Chapter 3 and verse number 2. And it reads, be watchful. So the Lord is commanding you, you understand, to be watchful, right? Don't just look physically in this book and in that book and don't keep the whole Bible. You understand? It's a commandment to be watchful. Don't think it's just a commandment or have my beard, or have my fringes. That's all I need to do. No, this is a commandment too. These are statutes all throughout the Bible. The Lord is telling you to be watchful. Times we living in, it's earthquakes every single day.
Yeah.
It's like it's not even new anymore.
Yeah.
Like a year ago, it used to be like, damn, did you hear about it? Now it's like, damn, you didn't hear about it, right? Because this thing is just kicking off, man, more and more. It says, be watchful and strengthen the things which remain, which are ready to die. For I have not found our works perfect before God. That's a beautiful precept, because no matter how you are on fire, labor, the Lord still hasn't found your works perfect, man. We're going to be perfected when we're tried through that fire, you understand? And we came out of it. Until then, we're not perfected. Till then, there's more work to do. There's more laboring to do. There's more breakdowns to make. There's more prophecies to go into. It says, remember, therefore, how thou hast received and heard. So you got to remember everything. You don't just read it for the hell of it. Read your 7 chapters, read your 3 chapters, right? You got your verse. It don't go like that. You have to hold these things fast, and that's in your heart. That's why the Lord said, lay up these words. That means hold them in you. Don't let them go. Don't regurgitate them, right? Don't be lukewarm. Don't be unstable in this thing. It says, how thou hast received and heard, and hold fast and repent. If therefore thou shalt not watch, I will come in thee as a thief, and thou shalt not know what hour I will come upon thee. So if you're not watching the signs and even your spirit, you understand, you have to watch yourself and examine yourself. Watch your household, watch your brethren, you understand? And if you're not watching, the Lord is going to come like a thief in the night. So everybody got to hold themselves diligent in the fear of the Lord and keep these commandments.
It's Sirach chapter 35, verse 4. Thou shalt not appear empty before the Lord. Most High gave you a talent. He gave you that talent to ultimately magnify his name, right? Yahweh Shemel Rashai. Also bring in Israel that don't know that they're Israel, right? So, hey, the Lord's going to know if he brought in this many people or this through the spirit and power of him. Verse 5, For all these things are to be done because of the commandment. The offering of the righteous maketh the altar fat. Remember, there's an altar up there in the spiritual world, and all your works are presentable for the Lord. In a similar manner, when you're at work, best believe your boss is having a track record of your works. Okay, he did this, he did that. There's somebody under that boss, and he had him look at you like an angel. Okay, and then that boss, and it's lucky that person under the boss, he brought it back to the boss, and now the boss is looking at your track record to figure out if he should keep you on the team or let you go. All right, Esau got this from the Most High, so that's how the Most High is kind of dealing with us. All right, he wants you to keep making the altar fat, right? Keep bringing up the comely things before him. And then it says, the offering of the righteous maketh the altar fat, and the sweet savor therefore is before the Most High. The sacrifice of a just man is acceptable, and the memorial thereof shall never be forgotten. Right, and you're going to make your body a living sacrifice, right? A lot of you Israelites, and that's beautiful before the Lord. Right.
Con. And I'm gonna go to the classic. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 22 and verse 12. And behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be. So at any given second, all hell can break loose. You got literally all hell breaking loose in Afghanistan. You got people jumping out off of planes, dying. You got insurrections. You got Haiti just got hit with another earthquake.
Yep.
Literally, not the one that just happened that killed 1,000 people plus, but now you got another earthquake, right? You got all of these spirits created for vengeance on the earth, man. And we keeping up, but it's like it's getting a lot harder to keep up because you got to have 15 tabs open and this happened and this happened. You know, your phone blowing up, huh? With apps and alerts and end time headlines and end game World War III and this and that, and you're trying to keep track. You at work, your phone blowing up. Hey, man, the Lord is coming quickly, man. And like I tell brothers, what you got to do, for lack of better terms, is write every prophecy down, put a square next to it, and now you're just checking them off. Okay, that happened. Okay, that happened. That happened. You see the ones that didn't happen, you link them up in the Bible. You go through the chronology. Okay, we got this one to come. Okay, then we got to still be delivered up. Okay, and that's how you go. That's how you go through the prophecies, and you make sure you paying attention to the prophecies that have happened, that are happening, and that will happen, man. And that helps you be a faithful and wise servant who the Lord will make a ruler over all his household, man. And not a slothful servant that saith in his heart, my Lord delayeth his coming. Right? A lot of you brothers, we don't believe the Lord is coming back. It's too far-fetched for you. Right? It's getting spooky to you. Now you don't get it. You know, you got to be in this thing and die and live in this thing, man. You know, and the Lord is coming like a thief in the night to give every man according as his work shall be. So if you're diligent, if you're on fire, you're persistent, you got discipline, you're moving in the spirit, your light is burning, and you're going to get that reward. And if you evil and slothful and lazy, and you in the world, and you're surfeiting, and the cares of this world are choking the hell out of you, and you might not make it. You might make it past the lion, but you'll get attacked by that bear. You might make it past the bear, but get bit by the serpent. But with that, we're going to close up, giving, of course, our honor and glory to Yahweh. By Shema Mashiach Malak Yahushai. Quick announcement, the Cold Cut channel is suspended for 2 weeks. So I know brothers are looking for the Cold Cut channel. Subscribe to the WFI Backup channel. Brothers are on there doing videos from all of the different camps from Philly, Jersey, Detroit. Subscribe to the WFI Backup channel. And the Cold Cut channel is suspended. The memorial blowing of the trumpets is September 6th at sundown. Right? September 6th at sundown. Any brother can think of any other announcement? Pretty much it. Come. We'll take questions for literally an hour. Right? And if we didn't get to your question, hit us up. Instagram, social media, Facebook, Twitter, and also we do Q&As throughout the week. The brother just did a 5-hour Q&A, right? So, you know, that's ample time to get your question in there, right? But we're going to take questions for about an hour. Brothers know the number. It's 213-603-9415. 9096, and the PIN number is 94809-305. Right? So again, that's 213-603-9096, and that PIN number is 94809-305. You should see it on your screen or on the live comment board, right? You should see it on there. Right? But with that, Brother Naquan,
Brother Yardan.
Brother Raya.
hey, a quick announcement, Slaki, one more. Somebody said the Day of Atonement is coming soon. Call out of work in advance. Talk to your employer. Tell them, you need to get off that day. Do it in advance. Don't wait till the Day of Atonement to try to get out of work. You can't work on that day. So be circumspect and use wisdom. Shalom.